Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here, and yes, as you've probably seen by the thumbnail, we've got Dale here where we're doing an interview. So Dale is the Spaceship Community Manager. For those that don't know, I'm sure many of you have seen him in Discord. So yes, so we have sort of done like a members only stream in the sense that members can ask questions. So if you are a member, then hit us up with questions. We're going to be stopping throughout the stream to sort of ask them questions as much as we can. Some questions we might be already covering within the stream, so if we do ignore your question, don't worry. Most likely it's going to come up at some point. But if you're not a member, you're welcome to watch the stream and tune in. But like I said, members only can ask questions. But thank you, Dale, for joining us. No problem. Yeah, it has. So we went through sort of like doing an interview every year, pretty much. And yeah, it has been a while. But yeah, so let us know about the levels, guys. Because every time me and Dale do these interviews, Dale has no sound. See, it always happens every time. Hang on, hang on.
Bad streamer, no sound.
Dale has sound, yeah? Try again.
I hope they didn't hear me saying bad streamer, no
Dale has sound. No, it's because on the intro screen yesterday, I was messing about again with my things, my play stream I did. And literally, I was messing with my mic, and Trax was like, we can hear something. Someone talking. They said you're a bit low, so
A bit low. Turn me up then.
oh, do we have to?
Turn me up. There we go. Yeah, turn me up just a little bit. Can I say some hello? No, I'm too low to even say some hellos.
Let's try it again a minute. There we go.
Going.
That should be right, I think. Let us know.
I should probably talk because you've made it higher. Hello, everyone.
Trax is putting that in reverse, yeah. I changed it from 100% to 30 rather than 300, so that should be fixed now. Obviously, the chat's just catching up, but try again, Dale.
Hello.
Better? I think so. It's gone from 100 to 300%.
Still very quiet. I'm actually going to tune in now and see if it's just them or if it's just me.
500%, so you might deafen people right now, but let's see.
Wow, you are. The thing is, you are very loud, and I'm very quiet. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay, I can turn mine down a bit. Is that better?
I think
There
you
we
might
go.
need to be. Yeah, I think like to just turn yours down just to
Yeah,
touch, just so.
good now, yeah.
Yeah, better now. Cool. If people are happy with that, there we go. Hello, everyone.
Right, so yeah, I'm a bit quieter, you're a bit louder.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Cool. Now we can sort of crack on. So the idea, like I said, what we're going to do throughout is we're going to do a bit of an intro, bit of an icebreaker. I mean, I don't need an icebreaker with Dale, but it's a bit of fun. I'm going to cover some of the top topics throughout the game that I feel. We've got a few questions from my Discord, and like I said, we're going to have some questions from our members throughout. So yeah, so appreciate all the members for joining, and don't be scared to ask any questions, guys. But like I said, we might cover it throughout. So I have give Dale the sort of the list of sort of things, topics we're going to be talking about, but he doesn't know that we're going to have a bit of a game of not would you rather, but like give him two options and see what he chooses, get an insight into Dale, the man, the myth. Okay, so and let's see what everyone else thinks in the chat of these answers. Okay, so first question, it's gonna be a hard one. Sorry, I apologise in advance. Okay,
Go on.
the 1986 movie or Transformers One?
I haven't seen Transformers 1. You have. You have, and
I
it's
have.
not out in the.
Everyone
and it's not.
has.
And it's not out in the UK. No, we're watching it as with a team on Monday, so I'll have to
Fair
go
point.
for I'll have to go with the older movie. I'm afraid. But if we was doing this next week, I could tell you, but I can't because I've not seen the other one. So
Interesting. Excited for it though, I presume.
of course, I mean the studios put the whole cinema out.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, yeah.
So I am excited to a point because yeah, the trailers don't do it justice,
Yeah.
and To be honest, when they first announced the movie, everybody on Discord was like, "Oh, I really don't want to see this. It's not really kind of probably a movie for me." And then as more people have like seen it, they've gone, "Oh wow, actually, it's not too bad." So it's actually made me more excited for it because basically it's had the approval from you guys actually. Because I kind of know now if something's good, you'll tell me, and if something's bad, like the Bayformers,
Yeah.
you'll tell me that too. So. Yeah, super excited to watch it. So let's go with the first
Okay.
option, the older movie.
And when we're doing these questions, let us know in the chat what you guys think, your answers as well. I'm interested. Okay,
Yeah.
next up, legacy, endurance, leaderboard.
Well, obviously, I'm going to go for Legacy, right?
I thought you might.
I will go for my events because I like the Legacy project. Then we'll go for Endurance, and then we'll go for the leaderboard.
Oh, he's done the political choice. Okay.
I think that's actually how it is.
Okay.
I mean, if you're asking most people, maybe they might say Endurance is above the Legacy project, but they'll always put the leaderboard at the bottom.
Probably. Community manager or developer?
Me?
Yeah. Like if you had to say choose like long term, what would you rather do?
I like hybrid.
No, you can't hybrid. You can't hybrid.
I like
Let's
the
not
role.
sit on the fence.
Yeah, but I like the role. The perfect role for me is the license to do not whatever you want, but the license that you can listen to the community, you can find out what they hate, and then you go and fix it. So you don't have to give it to somebody else to do, and you're not sat here waiting for somebody. Like, you know, I don't like being a community manager where they have to collect all the bug things and then have to give it to somebody else, and then I'm nagging them every day saying, "Hey, when can you fix it?" So, yeah, I don't know. It has to be the middle, but you've not given me an option.
Okay, so you're sitting on the fence on that one, okay?
No, I'm not sitting on the fence on that one, but the perfect role is the middle one, the one in the middle who can do both. But let's just say community because I like talking to people.
Okay. Autobot or Decepticon?
Ooh. I like more Decepticons now. I've been doing the Legacy project, but let's go Autobot because it's drift.
Okay. American football or basketball?
Oh, I've not watched either, honestly. Sorry, the Americans who are tuning in. American football, maybe?
See, I could have put football in there, our football, but it'd be unfair, obviously, because...
Yeah, because I'd pick that one anyway.
Okay, and last one. Yanis's job or Hyro's job?
For me?
Yeah, if you had to pick one to do.
I don't think anyone wants Hyro's job. If I'm honest. No offense to Hyro, I know there's a lot of people have an opinion on it. I think he does a great job. I feel like when you've got to make money for the game, it's almost like you have to do some unwanted decisions to keep the game running and things. So I wouldn't want Hyro's job at all. That would be horrible for me to have Hyro's job after knowing, you know, when you've built so many connections over the past 5 years, and then you take Hyro's job, and then you're the person who has to make the leaderboards and
Deliver the bad news.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You couldn't burn bridges anymore doing that role. So I would go with Yanis's role, not because he's more power.
Power trip. Okay, I didn't think of that until you said it, but now I'm thinking.
Not because there's more power in Yanis's role. I find it, even finding the variety with the events every week, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd find it very hard, I think.
Okay.
You know, I like making new events and making them unique every week. You've got to do 52 a year. How do you make them more unique? It's tough. My brain would be fried on week 4.
Okay. Now we've got a few people in the chat. Do you want to say some hellos? We can ask a few questions before we crack off. I've got a few Discord questions to ask before we start as well, if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's go.
So I'll let you say the hellos. I say it every week, so you can do it for a change.
Sure. We've got Tracks. We've got Lucas. Freeziest Max is in the chat. Hello. We've got Vic Ching. Hello to you. We've got Blade19. We've got Chris Lewis. We've got DDEX76. We've got It's Your Boy Soul. Hello Soul. We've got Grind Time, who's here every week. Who else have we got in here? I'm trying to make sure that I haven't missed anybody. Have I missed anybody? Blade 19, I've got you. Volcanicus 1, I saw you coming number 1. I think you were the first here. I think you were an hour early, actually, by your message. But hello to everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I think most of these guys are here every week, really. And just for reference, Vic Ching is actually a fellow Manc. So we're both
Wow.
going to the Oasis concert the same day, so we're probably going to meet up there. So
I'm
subject
gutted that I
maybe.
can't go. Yeah, I'm gutted that I can get tickets.
It was hard. It was difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's kick it off with, what would you say is your highlight of the year this far in the game?
Highlight of the year?
Yeah, it could be.
So far, this year or so far since I've been here?
No, I'd say this year, I'd say. Well, both if you want. Yeah, do both.
Since I've been here, I'd say, what would be the highlight? The highlight for me would be, I think, launching the Discord server to everybody. It was my first role as a community manager. And it was just so bizarre how this game was just so enclosed to just people who were spenders. Let's be honest. That's what the Discord server was locked to. And I almost remember going into my interview for this game, and I said, I played the game, but I can't get into your Discord server. Like, what is this? And then, the people who was interviewing me at the time was Max, the head of the play support, and Jack, who you might remember. Jack used to be, who used to manage you guys, and they couldn't give me an answer, and I was like, well, I've got no research now, because normally I would come into the Discord, I would see what's going on, I would get involved, and I would give you my feedback, but I can't do that because you blocked it away. So my first task was I just went in now, and this is just not acceptable. We need to launch this thing, and we need to just get as many people connected as possible. So I think that was one of the highlights. Highlight this year? I think I'm cheating if I said, getting John on stream last. I mean, it wasn't me who did it. He reached out, and that was just super cool to get John involved.
It was cool. It was. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm super excited, to be honest, because some of the legacy projects that we're going to do in the future, I might just get him to just do the voices for them because he is incredible. And Sam actually said at the end of the stream, why don't we get John to voice the Sentius twins, because these are bots that we've made. And we can just go to John and we go,
just from scratch.
Make a voice.
Yeah.
Make a voice for us. Just do whatever you want. Do whatever you want for these twins. So that might be super exciting. Obviously pending John's approval. So that I think that's cheating if I say that was a highlight. I think the highlight's been probably doing some game design stuff this year has probably been a highlight of me. And just I think that's a major one actually, because I'm actually starting to pump content out into the game, which is quite surprising if people say you're a community manager.
True. And then on the flip side, low lights, as you might call them. Low lights.
What's a low light? Oh, we've got a few of those.
Let's do the same. Let's go since you've been there, and obviously this year as well.
Yeah, since I've been here, I'd say the low light. What sticks in my head is Dino Gate.
Okay. Yeah, but you say that, but something good came of it.
I
honestly think that by doing that, it sort of showed that you can release some incredible content on a one purchase only, like you guys sort of do that. It's like a one-time offer, and it gets people excited, and it gets sort of people spending a bit of money. You know what I mean? That might entice them to spending more. It opens that entry into spending. So. Yeah, it probably was at the time, but
it does. But I think it was more the aftermath of Dino Gate. When somebody's bought 70, 80, 90, 100 plus bundles,
yeah,
and you're having to go through the stress of refunding, and you've got the player there who are saying, "Well, you've got my money," and they kind of don't understand as well the process of when you actually purchase something on Transformers is it doesn't actually just come straight to Space 8 Games when you make a purchase. In fact, all your purchasing doesn't go through to Space 8 at all until like Google says so. So we have to speak to Google, Apple is on another different level, by the way. You know, Apple, you tell Apple to refund somebody, they don't even refund them. They want like long essays like this on
Yeah.
why they should be refunded. But Google's a bit different. But it was just chaos because yeah, you've got so many people coming in and going, oh, I need it, you know, I want my refund now, and then we had to come up with like a solution very quickly on how we deal with these people who spent loads of bundles. And because refunds would take so long and it was Black Friday, could we credit them on other bundles, which we did because it was like the right thing to do. And then you've got a lot of fluff tickets of people who didn't buy the bundles. So, you know, we're trying really hard. And I know this is not a bad thing. I know there is some people probably in the chat now or who's probably watching going, yeah, I probably sent a ticket asking when I can buy something. But, you know, you're trying to focus on a problem and then you get thousands of tickets.
I want it too.
I want it too. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, please. I don't know. I know I shouldn't be too critical about this because this is kind of my job, but I just wish that they would do that once we get the other tickets out of the way because you know we're trying to prioritize that. But at the time it was just chaos. It all just came in at once, and you kind of feel it because you want to deal it with quite some speed as well and accuracy. And that's two things that don't really go well. We see that with VAR in football. You can't do speed and you can't be accurate. If you're a football fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're from America, you've got no idea what I'm talking about. So yeah, it was just acting with speed because it was Black Friday and getting that out of the way. So it was a low point, but you're right. It showed Hyro that people will spend for low bundles and they will go crazy for them and they love it. So why not do more? And we did.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it looks like a special offer, so to speak,
Yeah.
but it sort
Yeah.
of puts things into perspective. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So when it,
I agree.
that makes sense. Yeah, hard to
Yeah,
explain.
yeah, I agree.
But you sort of look at it, and you go, "Oh, it's a special offer. I'll go and buy it." Where in reality, it's probably not a special offer. That makes sense. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
seem to ask it's better value than normal. So yeah, it lessens the value of everything else in between that. But then people sort of look for that Dino game as soon as it comes out, like buy. So
I know. I think also we've done a really bad job this year in telling people when Dino Gate's going to happen, because we actually had a Dino Gate bundle come out on the weekend. I had no idea. So
yeah,
so we need to get better at that. We do know we need to do better than that. I need to do better on that. And my low point of this year, I would say, low point of this year would be probably leaderboards.
oh, interesting.
No reason. I'm not going to justify it. I mean, leaderboards people just don't like them, so it brings negativity. So that's something you have to deal with.
I've come to accept it in a way. The only thing that I hope is that for the leaderboards, it's not anything exclusive. Like if you were to say to me, "Oh, the new binary bonds are only available in leaderboards," then I'd be a bit annoyed because I'm like, you can't sort of do that and make it totally exclusive
I
to
agree.
leaderboards.
Yeah.
As long as you can get them in other avenues. You said to me, listen, the leaderboard, you're going to get twice the 5-star shards of endurance, you're going to get twice the spark and twice the rewards, and you get legacy, you get binary bonds and things like that. Then I'm like, all right, listen, if you want to go and spend a few $100s on the game, then it is what it is. As long as the content's not exclusive, like I said, but when it's a certain bot, like I said, when it's a bot, it is quite frustrating that you might do a bot on it. Combats, I feel, aren't as desirable as bots. So for me, if it was a bot, say the next bot coming out was a leaderboard event, I'd be frustrated that it was a good bot. I can't get that then for another, 8, 10 months, 9 months, whatever it is, because it's locked behind literally,
leaderboard, yeah.
yeah. But if it's good items, like listen, if you said listen, I don't. If you take the bot away, I think from that last leaderboard, I know you got to get value in it. I understand that, but if you took the bot out of that last leaderboard and just pumped it full of resources of everything else that was in there, I won't be too fussed. I'd be like, okay, I kind of get that.
Yeah. From what I know, is the idea is it's not going to go to bots. But it will be probably combats and BBEs. But we've seen BBEs everywhere else anyway. They've been in like different bundles. I'm sure we'll also give one out in the Cyber Pass in the future. I mean, these things do have that exclusivity at the start, and then we start to spread it everywhere else. So that's why I kind of, even when we had the BBEs in the leaderboard, and I know some people said, yeah, well, you know, you've got that argument as well, because some people complain that the leaderboard's not worth running in because there's not like enough exclusive items in there. But then we don't want to make it too
Yeah,
exclusive because we don't want people to feel like they need to run in a leaderboard. Like you said, our intention for the leaderboard is if you just want to spend and you just want to push, just do a leaderboard.
yeah,
And we shouldn't do them all the time either. Like I think the idea is probably one combat has the leaderboard, then the next one doesn't, and it's not going to be here all the time. It's not going to be this thing where it just kind of it's just here every week kind of a thing.
yeah.
It's not going to be like that. It's going to be like a one time every odd saga or something. It's going to be there. If people want to run, they can. If they don't. And I know people don't like me saying that.
No, I don't
But
mind it. But like I said, if you just say like, let's go like, let's just say throw a million spark in there, something stupid, a million spark, a million combat spark, a million combiner spark, 3 binary bonds,
yeah,
all
yeah.
really good content. Do you know what I mean like that? It's like triple the endurance sort of rewards. You just throw that in there and go, listen, it's pretty much the same as 3 endurances. We're gonna do it in one event. The higher you rank, you get it. Then yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm all for that.
Me too.
And then what's next? So we're going to cover 5-star combiners a bit later on. We obviously know they're coming, but is there anything you can talk about what's coming next? I mean,
Well,
HQ
you obviously
upgrade
know.
is the big one as well.
Yeah. I don't think they're really pushing the HQ upgrade at the moment. I mean, the game is too hard. I mean, people are still saying it is very hard. So I think looking at a new HQ would be almost a little bit crazy from
Yeah.
us in a way. I think the new combiners coming in, and we're also finally working on our war update, which should be, I'm told, coming by the end of the year, which
Oh,
is pretty nice. It's can't really say too much about it, but we've had a lot of chats with Supercell regarding on how, because Clash of Clans has their own war system, and they've given us lots of heads up and lots of tips about it. So lots is obviously going to probably change in our variation, but they've done it right. They've done a war mode. It is the one of the biggest games in the world, and they've probably gone through every challenge possible when it comes to these kind of things. So just to have some time with them, even, and just to say, hey, what didn't go well with it,
I think I just
was
clicked on
really
something. I think you might have just
yeah,
given something away. So in Clash of Clans, you get the star rating, the 3 stars,
yes,
on defeating the
yeah,
base 100%. And
yeah,
you just brought out Mayhem mode, where you don't
yeah.
have to destroy the HQ, you have to destroy the whole base.
I mean, it's the text there, right? I mean, why not? I mean,
That'd be interesting.
but like you said, I think the team want to do something like that where they don't want to change too many things, and we want to kind of use as much tech in the game as possible. It just saves recoding and redesigning and things. So
I mean,
it exists, but it's I've got no idea how it will be. Maybe it's not going to be stars or anything like that.
no, but
But all I know is we've got the war system coming. I'm super excited for it because I've been waiting for this. I don't want to even tell you how long I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this
I
for a
think a
very,
lot of
very
people
long
have.
time. Very
Yeah.
long time for a war update. And I'm excited it's finally coming. So
Well,
I
for
can't
me,
wait.
if pie in the sky, if it is that sort of system where we're going to start on a percentage and you get scored on a percentage, I think that's actually pretty good because there's nothing more frustrating that in wars it's all or nothing right now. It's
Oh
you
yeah.
win or
Yeah.
you don't. Whereas if you can get a percentage, you can still contribute by getting a percentage.
Yeah,
So
it
I
would
wouldn't mind that. I think that'd be a pretty good
yeah,
move.
I've got no idea. Again, I don't know
But
if it's the percentage thing because I've not because it's still in a situation where I haven't actually had chance to play it. So I've got no idea if it is a percentage. But what I will say is, yeah, now I'm thinking about it more, it'd be way better for the lower players because the amount of times I've seen it, and I don't know why. If you're watching and you're one of these players in a lower league, why? Why are you doing this? They just playing junkie on, and you're HQ 18, and then bless a poor HQ 5 who comes along and just can't do anything. They can't take any building down. Whereas if it was potentially, but again, I don't know if it is a percentage system, but if it was, especially for lower players, at least they could say, Well, I took out 4 energon harvesters, and I contributed. You
No,
know
but
what
yeah,
I mean? You
no,
know
but
what
yeah,
I mean? I
it might.
contributed.
You might stop people. We had to see these bases that not stop them, but we see these bases that are resource front loaded and then defense at the back,
Yeah,
and you can take out the whole front with one bot, even no matter what level you are, and go right. Okay, well, I've took out half the
I've
base at least.
I've done something.
Yeah, even on those bases. So
Yeah, so it would be good. Yeah, because that's the
interesting.
problem with the players lower down is you've got high players who just go down and think it's great to play in lower league wars. So yeah, I think that's definitely something on the team's mind. But yeah, I'm super excited for the war mode. I can't wait. I've been waiting 2 years for this.
Cool. So yeah, we've got a few Discord questions.
Yeah, go
So we'll
ahead.
go through those first, and then we'll sort of take some questions from the chat. So if you've got any questions, guys, stick them in the chat now, and we'll go through them. We'll go through sort of past comments as well. But what is Skydive and Skywalk? So they were sort of announced as a legacy bot, and I think maybe I ruined that. I was like, "Why are you doing Skydive?" Like, I don't
This
think
was
Skydive
ages.
needs. Yeah, I don't think Skydive needs much, but
Well, Legacy's changed a lot, to be honest. I can't remember. We've never really done. I've never really. I've obviously spoke to Freezius about Legacy, but I've not really spoke to you about Freezius. I mean, when I decided to do Legacy, I think it was November last year. It was always the idea of, okay, let's just do 5 bots and let's just improve all 5 in just whatever way possible. And then it kind of evolved to, okay, that was a lot of work. Let's just do 2. And then we started doing, I like to call it the main and then the side piece. And then it just started to be like a two-way thing. So I don't know where Skywarp and Skydive actually sit in the Legacy batch now, if ever, because I think when they get their 5-star, they're going to be actually quite good anyway. I don't think they really need any changes.
I think the G1
But
needs
I
some
think,
work. The G1's known for being pretty
yeah, but
awful,
then
but
that's
that's
what we can do with the
yeah,
Legacy. I mean, the Legacy, we want to see what we can do with anything, right? I mean, like combats, is there something we can do with combats? Would be
yeah.
pretty cool. Is there something we can do with combiners? Would be pretty cool. Like nothing's off the table. It's not just bots. We've just not really had people go, you know what, you should probably push for this combiner or push for this combat or something. So that might be interesting to do in the future. And then it's like the way Legacy works at the moment is, you put the bot into the event, but that allows us to put a lot of time into the bot because we're obviously putting it in an event. Could we do the same with a combat? No, because everybody has the 5-star anyway, so I'm not sure how it would work for them. So yeah, there's lots to think about.
And then same question for Sunstreaker and Swindle.
For Legacy,
Yeah.
it would be side piece because it already has a 5-star. I think any bot that has a 5-star at the minute doesn't really get like a whole rework. I mean, Drift had a whole.
I was about to say did for Drift, yeah, but
It depends how bad they are. Really?
Hmm.
Yeah, if the 5-star just sucks, sorry to use that wording, but if they're just like they need a big change, then we'll do it. Like Ultra Magnus needs a big change.
Yeah, you said that a few times, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one I've got in the background at the minute working with him, but he's actually very annoying. He's probably going to be the hardest one we do.
I thought that, yeah.
Not just because of the lore bit, it actually makes it like pretty cool and what we can do with him. It's just the more that both bots have different animations.
Yeah.
So,
I always said that. And you give him a laser, it doesn't really make sense. And you give Galvatron rockets, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
so you've literally got 2 different parts. I thought it's going to be a really difficult one.
Yeah, it's so that the easiest thing would be to controversially to make them fully parity, just get rid of him doing anything in transform mode. So what this means is he could be potentially somebody who runs into a battlefield because then he wouldn't need to transform and then use an animation. So we could do something with a fist or something, but then we're talking like a whole redesign. I really want to.
Could you just fire one rocket rather than a multitude? Like
you could, but then it would look silly because I've already done that, and it does look silly because of the different model animations. Like getting the rocket's fine, but like because of the positioning of the rocket is different on Ultra Magnus and Galvatron, it just looks really weird, and it's like, well, this shouldn't go, and I can't just do a half attempt on it. It needs to be, when we do it, it needs to be good, and that's why I kind of thought I had this crazy idea of him just being like a warrior, we're not talking like a we're not talking. We're not. When I say warrior, we're not talking like. I'm talking drift style warrior. Someone who goes in and does a bit of damage
Yeah.
and then just dies. I know that doesn't sound good, but in lore, he basically sacrifices himself. So why couldn't we replicate that in game where, he goes in and then when he dies, he really does a big explosion. We're talking something very big, and you can tell he's died. These are just some
Not a fan
ideas
of
that we're thinking.
sacrificial bots, so I'm not a fan of it at all. Honestly, like, I
I
don't like
know
these.
it's just
But because I never plan to lose them. I don't plan them to die. I don't want them to die.
yeah,
I
but
want to finish it with
well, it
8 bots,
depends.
so I don't like
Yeah,
that.
but it
No, every die,
depends.
it feels a
Yeah,
waste
it
for me.
depends. It
I don't know.
depends on how good the explosion is. If you're saying to me, go in there, but when you die, you were really gonna change this battle for me. But we've just never seen it in the game, and that's what kind of I think all the after death effects kind of just maybe we've just not hit the mark with it. But an after death effect could be good. Like if you die, you're taking something out with you. Does that sound good?
I think on a
I think it
combiner
sounds
it'd
good.
work because on a combiner it dies. It always does die. It's going to die. That's that.
Yeah,
I mean, so that makes sense for me on a combiner,
yeah,
but
but
not
a
on a
bot can
bot. I don't
die.
know.
A bot can die.
Why?
But but again, we get to the point that when he's dead, what is he do? Like what is the after death effect? Because if the after death effect is good, then you want him to die. But it's all about how good the after death effect is.
I can just imagine them all having a meeting going, listen, Ultra Magnus, you're going to run in there with a grenade, yeah, kill yourself, and just destroy the whole thing. Like, I ain't doing
Put it
that.
this way.
I ain't
Put it
doing
this
that. You
way.
come
All
and
right,
do
all right,
that.
all right. I've played around with Ultra Magnus. I've had him run in. I've had him explode, and he'd take out the whole base, and I loved
Whole
it.
piece.
I'm not
Just a
kidding.
nuke.
I'm not kidding. It just yeah. I'm talking nuke. I'm talking nuclear. Big rate. It was hilarious. I don't know if I'll ever
I
be
love
able
how
to
you
get that.
sort of do these sort of things and you go to the extreme with it just to laugh. It's funny, honestly.
Yeah,
You've said it
yeah.
a few times in
It was great.
playtest and like,
I,
look what I've been doing. This is not coming out, but look what I've sort of been doing.
I think the biggest one that I've done, which I was very disappointed to not get through, was, oh no, who was it in the 5-star batch?
I can't remember. That's what I'm
Oh
talking about.
no,
Was it Drift even? I think it was Drift actually, wasn't it?
no, it wasn't Drift. Who was it? Oh my god, it was in the batch. Grapple.
Oh yeah,
When, yeah, I really
the
like the
man.
idea with him, the mine, where you could detonate it. You had 2 buttons, and you could detonate it whenever you wanted. You placed a bomb, and then you had another. You had 2 abilities. So one of them would place a bomb, and then the bomb would be down for 20 seconds, and then you'd use the second button to detonate the bomb, but it wouldn't cost any ability points. And I just thought, wow,
They were pretty
this
cool.
is, this is
Yeah.
really, really cool. Why couldn't this have been a legacy bot? We could have really done something
So
cool
why
with
why
this.
didn't that happen for Grapple then?
So like, yeah, this is the thing. This is the kind of the thing with why people are probably a little bit upset with 5-star batches at the minute, because people are like, yeah, but I'd rather see that, I'd rather you do a vote and then you bring this bot as a 5-star from a vote or something. But the truth is, you don't want that. You really don't. You don't want that. And I say that because in a 5-star batch, you don't get time. And I've done a 5-star batch, and I probably might not do another 5-star batch because I like to give it a lot of time, whereas they have a time requirement of saying, you just got to put them as a 5-star and get them out. Because, the team think they're nearly there anyway, but for me, I like to do too many tweaks, so many tweaks, and they just want them out in the game. So, yeah, I don't know what... Yeah, I just feel like if you want a 4-star right now, and you want it to be really good, it needs to go through Legacy. But if you want a 4-star as a 5-star and you don't expect many changes, sure, let it go through the 5-star batch.
Hmm.
I think that's probably the better way I would advise people. If you're expecting the 4-star to get maybe a 10-20% uplift, put it in the 5-star batch. If you think that the bot needs a whole rework, you're not going to get a whole rework in a 5-star batch. You've not got the time to do a whole rework.
Good to know. And then the last question from Discord was, are we going to see this, talk about 5-star batches, funny enough. Are we going to see this where we have sort of like 2 endurance bots in a batch and a legacy bot, and then are we having community votes back again? Where do we sort of see the 5-star
Well, it
batches going?
depends. Well, it depends, because the more so this is something we're all thinking about at the minute, because the more community votes we have and the more people put in 5 stars, the less 5 stars we actually have to revamp. So it's like, as a player, is the route into the 5-star batch that we do a legacy vote, gets a rework, and then goes into the batch. Technically, that is the community's pick.
Okay.
Is that better than doing it as a 5-star? My personal preference is we do it that way because we can give the 4 stars way more love and way more different things. For example, Lightspeed. If Lightspeed had been picked as a community vote, he probably would be the same bot, for example. So yeah, personal preference is legacy, but I am selfish because I do the legacy bots. So it's probably like I'm not the best person to answer this question. It's basically up to the players. What would the players prefer? Would they prefer bots? Just get that uplift like we just mentioned and just go into the batch, or would they say no, actually let's do more legacy and let's do big reworks, and then that's my pick when it goes into the batch. But then you have many players who will just run the legacy event, and then when the batch does come out, they go, well, I've got nothing to chase because I did the endurance event, I did the legacy event, and now the batch is out. What do I do with my shard? So that makes another problem. So yeah, lots to think about.
Okay. Any more questions? Do you want to, in fact, do you want to have a look through the chat? See if any questions you want to pick out or anything?
Well, you go ahead. I don't want to avoid any questions, so I'll let you pick them.
Okay. So, Traxpen and Lancaster's put, how did they decide the last class of PTs? As most of us have a reputation for being super critical and not favourable to space safe in their decision making.
Because we're not biased. Yeah. I mean, if you think that we look at applications of playtesters and we think, oh, this person's given us a bit of stick, we better not. No, that's maybe other community managers may like that because it makes their job easier. But for us, we just want your opinions. That's it. If we know you're outspoken, that's good enough for us because we know you're not scared to share your mind of what you're really thinking, which is also really good. Can come across very negative in the playtest chats, but we just want people who are honest with us. That's it. So, yeah, we're just not biased, really. If we think you can contribute, you'll be in playtest.
Cool. I think that's the key word, though, for me. I mean, I've been critical sometimes. The playtest's been a bit quiet sometimes. And I've had many I've used to running an argument with people, but I don't come away from it thinking anything worse about people. It's just two different opinions. And listen, we've crashed heads a few times. Do you know what I mean? Like that doesn't mean I'm not sat here today doing this interview or talking to you outside the game, or would even have a pint with you if you actually will meet me. But we've tried a few times, but Dale's let me down. Let's just say that much. But
we'll reorganise, don't worry.
But yeah, I don't take these things personally. It's just two opinions. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, if people, this is a thing when people, we always have a debate on Discord, and someone was like, or will message me and go, yeah, this wasn't personal. Obviously, none of it's ever personal, ever. Never really take it personally, or we never really go personal. It's just once the conversation's over, that's where we leave any ill intentions, really. Yeah.
I'm not sure about this. Lucas might have to clear this up what it means exactly, but it's put, Dale, what do you think about an in-game layout system using links similar to what Supercell does?
I'm not familiar with that one. I'll be honest.
Lucas, rephrase it in the chat. Tell us exactly what you mean. And we can ask that again. Blade 19s has put question Mayhem mode. Will you add another zone eventually? I think.
I think as in harder zones?
I think Yanis mentioned that it might be split in zone 16 or 17, but I'm not sure it's just Mayhem mode. I think he said he might add an extra zone, maybe he said. That rings a bell in one of the streams, but I can't remember what reference
rings a bell, but I can't remember what his intention is of Mayhem mode. No, we're not really looking to change. We just had lots of feedback on, obviously, lower down, but I'm sure we'll talk about Mayhem mode at some point tonight.
Yeah. Vic Jing, what about integrating the raid format into War so we can all contribute somehow? I think it means like the new war system having a bit where you
Yeah.
take out a section of the base and everyone sort of. I'm not a big fan of raids. I don't like that you just pound upon a base. I mean, I like the fact that I did shield gens in and think like a bit more
Mm.
tactical now because I felt it was just like drop some bots, just pound upon it, get close to the HQ and take it out. And it's just like I'm not too big fan of it. But I understand if we're changing the war
Yeah,
system, then
no plans to use the raid tech, I believe.
yeah, Lucas has put a new difficulty in raid would be good. Very hard. I agree with that because the top alliances, 3 guys will just go at it and then
I
that's
can
it.
ask for it, to be honest. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
Oh, Lucas has put layout of the bases to share it, so you can share base
Yeah,
layouts. Yeah, that is a good system actually in Clash of Clans. It is.
yeah, I did say when we built the system originally, why can we not share bases? And for some reason, Yanis decided not to go ahead with it, and I'm not sure why. And
I think it's a
I
bit.
don't know.
I think it's a bit different because if me and you created exactly the same base layout, it could
Yeah,
be completely different in terms of cores. And how are they going to change all the cores? If I copy yours, yeah, layout wise maybe,
yeah, I think
but
maybe
I
there was a
think
technical reason behind it. I
I
think yeah,
kind of
you hit
get
the nail on
that.
the
That'd
head.
be difficult. I think
Yeah.
there. I think that'd
But
be a
then you're only
problem.
moving building coordinates and think I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I would love to um, copy somebody's base very easily.
See, that's the thing. I find it really easy. So I think it was chatting with grind time. I think, and I was like, oh, I've seen this base. I was like, it's like, how do you even do that so fast? Like, it
Yeah,
takes me like an hour. I'm like, I
I
just do it. Like,
I'm always I'm always a square off or something like that. I always can never do it perfect
I
first
think I can
time.
copy any base in like 15 minutes, like
No
to
way.
the nth. Like, I don't understand how people
No
can't me, but I don't know.
no.
That's just for me. Like, I just find
I'm a
that
square
natural.
out. I'm a square out every time.
But I love base design though, so I literally change my base like every week or two. Literally just fiddle with it, change things, see what works. I've created some designs pretty good, create some awful ones as well. But you just sort of like fiddling it and going, because you can go against it and try and path against it, and you think, oh, I've got something good here, and if someone comes along and you're like, yeah, they just beat it with 3 bots because I didn't think about that. You're like, yeah, I need to do a whole new base.
Well, I can't
So
wait till we put your bases in game. So
I
we'll get
know.
there.
I've touched upon
I'm
that.
super
I did in
excited.
stream. It's going to be interesting. So,
Yeah, I'm
see, the thing
super
is, though,
excited
I
to do
could
this.
easily. So there's a well-known base. I've actually copied his base in now. A class from Horde did an amazing
Yeah,
design. It's an
I
absolute
was
nightmare. It is.
no, I was looking
And
at
he's come
war.
along.
I was looking at war, and A class's base has been gone against so many times, and people are like dropping so many points against
Yeah.
it that I had to download quite a few replays and just because obviously it's very easy for me to learn the game because I will obviously download people who go against good bases like A class and just see what they do and the
Yeah.
tactics they use and where they fail, and it's very interesting. But that base is something else.
It's like listen.
I
I've seen
almost
many a bases. There's plenty of people over time done this, and what happens is, and I've got an idea, so I copied it though. I want to test my theory. Is what happens is
I
someone creates this base, and then someone creates a very easy way to beat it,
well
and all of a sudden everyone goes, "All right, don't use this base. It's so easy." And
that's how it,
I think I found a way.
yeah, but
I do.
I was so close to downloading A class's base and making it a challenge mode battle so people can just go against it without having to go in war because I feel like that base you can beat.
I don't know. I think
are-
that's a bit
you
awful.
are-
Like you don't want to create a base and then everyone gets to go at it for free.
I know.
Listen, if you,
I'm not.
I feel
I
like
know.
if
This
you
is
want to
why.
go and do that, go make it your
Yeah,
base and go and actually spend the time
I
doing it.
know.
And it's a
I
bit.
know.
I'd be fuming. I'm not gonna lie. If I created a really good base,
I
you're
know.
like,
This is.
yo
This is why.
guys, go and have a go of it. Free,
This
free.
is why I haven't done it because of that reason. But it was a great base. It was a great base.
Yeah, there's been plenty over time. Like I said, I can't even think top of my head. Like I know that Shani from Sign made a good base a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago
Shannon's
even.
very good at bases.
Yeah, there's quite a few people. There's one person I can't. Special, remember Special from years ago?
Yeah.
He created
Yeah.
a good few bases. He was really
Well,
good. There's some
well,
guys
this
that
is
just have a
it.
knack for it.
Well, once we start fixing the tech, because obviously we tested your base when we put it in game, we actually fixed like 80% of the bugs, which is good. But you can still see power cores over mines, which is
Yeah,
just a little bit
bit of a
annoying. We just need to fix, and then once we do that, and then once we've done the test with yours, we can start to say, hey, we can start opening it up for people to build bases, and you can come on stream on a Thursday, and we'll be like, well, what's this month's base? Can I beat it? And then you
Yeah.
can have a go at it on stream. So yeah, it's going to be interesting and really cool. I feel like we really do underutilize our challenge battle bases
Yeah.
because we can do so much with them. Like we could make people test their strengths. We can build tutorials in there. Like there's
Yeah.
so much that I would love to do with the challenge battle system that I need to have a holiday in the next 2 weeks and then come back and do them.
That'll be interesting. And then the last question before we crack on with the rest of the
Yes.
is Blade 19 Sport. Are we planning on doing anything with Alliance HQ? I mean, I know there's plans, but do we see them sort of shortly? Have we got anything short term coming up?
Plans. Have we? I can't remember where we are in the timeline with HQ. I don't think we've maxed them yet, have we?
No, we're getting close to it, I
No,
think, though. But I think
yeah,
that
you're getting close. I need
Yanis
to
said
look
we
at
could
the-
obviously extend it, but we didn't. That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
about
It's
that's
it's
it.
gonna
Really.
get extended. Yeah, it's gonna get extended. I think we're trying to push for Z Energon have well, it's not a building obviously, but like better Z Energon. If you ever get it, you get probably a percentage extra. I know people want less combiner timer and stuff like that. So there's things there that could potentially be done. Let's hope they can be. I know Alliance HQ is going to be extended, but it's just going to be like, well, what are we going to have? It's going to be interesting.
Is that something for next year? Do you think? When do you expect people to start maxing it out? Do you know?
Early next year, I think we'll start to, I would say that the top alliances will get there. There'll also be a little bit of downtime for them because we'll just let a few other people catch up in a way,
Yeah.
and then we'll roll something else out.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, we're talking next year. It's not going to be this year.
Okay. Cool. So next topic is the hot topic at the minute is obviously mayhem mode. So I see a lot of positivity around it in the charts, and I loved it. I completed my event last night, pretty much. Well, yeah, no, not
Wow.
pretty much. Last night,
How many battles?
about 200, I think, maybe less, 150.
200.
I'd have to work it out. I don't know, but
Yeah, how many does it normally take you? Let's do the comparison.
all weekend. Let's just say that. Put it this way. Put it this way. I would normally take a whole weekend off and spend my weekend doing a leaderboard and finish on a Sunday morning, afternoon. Don't get me wrong. I do go out and do a few things. I'll go shopping and I'll take the kids to football and I'll go to my dad's maybe and to visit him a few Sundays ago. And I'll still do. But then everything outside of that, my time is dedicated to the event. Whereas this time I've done it in one day, and now I'm actually thinking that rather than having to book the whole weekend off, I could just book a Saturday off and just get it done in one day.
It's easy. It's just easy, right? Like,
Yeah, but I enjoy it something a bit different, like tactics wise, and we did it in my stream, and Trax was quite critical of the way I was doing things, and but I like that it's not just the same of, oh yeah, jump, HQ with ruination down, and now you got to think, oh well, I'm gonna do this and different tactics on each base. So I hope it doesn't get old, quite quickly, because at the minute I'm really enjoying it, and I like the Mayhem event. And it's just a lot that I haven't done a single legacy event this year apart from Lightspeed, and I haven't done a single endurance event this year apart from today, this weekend.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it was interesting when we launched Mayhem Mode because we knew that it would be. I mean, the idea was a Mayhem Mode. If you're spending, we want you to probably spend the same amount, but we want you to have your time. That was kind of the idea. And then when we've obviously launched Mayhem Mode in the Legacy, because the Legacy was just like a testing ground for it of everything we do, we kind of didn't think about lower players. We just thought that lower players just, believe it or not, we thought that lower players would just have the same attitude as higher players. They just want to do a few battles a day and then that's it. But we were wrong. Would you believe that lower players would rather just use a 5 fuel cell battle and just spread their time? Spread their time. And I know as a high player, you're probably thinking, what? They want to do battles? Yes, they do. They want to actually play the game. The way I'm seeing it at the moment is if you're a higher tier player on a weekend, you just want to do less. You just want to just get it out of the way.
I
Whereas
think that
a lower tier player is just like, I just want to enjoy the game.
I think for higher tier players, they have objectives, and so their objective is to get to X amount of points and to level bots. If they can do
Yeah,
that as fast as possible, then brilliant. Where I think lower
that's it.
players just think that they want to just enjoy the game. They're not really too bothered about
Yeah,
getting a bot
exactly that.
because that's why they
Yeah,
run full teams. Because not like, oh, I need
yeah.
this bot for war. I need to get this bot in my team. They don't have the same objectives. But you know what? Credit that you saw that and went, you know what? We're going to change it. You know, it was a good
Yeah,
move. I thought it was
I
really good.
yeah, I think that was where the was going. It was like we didn't really need to change it top because everybody was quite happy with it, and then lower further down people wasn't happy with it. So obviously we needed to make the change down there. So yeah, we just want to keep making changes as and we you know as and when. But the mode is definitely here to stay. I'm not sure if we're ever gonna. We're still not at that that phase of mayhem mode where I say this is it. Like there's going to be no more optimizations. I still think we're like 50% through optimizing it. To be honest, I think it
I'd
will
say
get
more.
better.
I'm
Yeah,
saying pretty much
well,
there. A few tweaks.
yeah,
I
maybe,
think some
yeah,
UI
maybe. I mean,
tweaks, things like that. Like I wasn't at first. I was a bit annoyed that I kept pressing the 5 rather than the 15 because they're right next to each other and very similar. So
mm,
I think there needs to be some visual, like even just like change the colouring of it or the border or something, just so
yeah, little things like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
make it a bit easier.
yeah. But
I'm
this
still
is
not a
it.
fan that you can lose and get 0. Again,
Mm.
like all or nothing. I don't like that. There's been a few battles where I've got 0 and I've been really fuming. Like, I think at one point I went to punch my screen because literally I lost
Oh
15. Because you lose
dear,
15 cells. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a
it's a
lot.
lot on the table. Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't like that amount. So I think I messaged you, I think, on Discord about like
yeah,
the
yeah.
weighting of the HQ. Is it too much? I took enough. I'm not too sure. But I don't like that all or nothing. That's basically the thing of it. The all or nothing thing. I think that
Yeah,
needs to change.
yeah, we just got to get better visually with mayhem. But the mode itself is great.
Yeah.
That's another thing I've been waiting for years because I remember when this was drafted up.
It was a
2
while
years.
ago. Yeah, as I was say, because you talked about this, like, you were talking, and I was like,
I
oh, they're going to
know.
do this, and they're going to do... And I thought about loads of different things, but I didn't for 1 minute think this.
Yeah, I think what happened was
It
we
was
was
clever.
like, let's do the UI, and then we did because I think it was like Alliance HQ, and we was like, yeah, let's do Alliance HQ, and then we'll do Mayhem mode. But then we decided to do the UI, and then that took way more
The
time than
arc.
we
I
thought
think
it
the
would
arc
take.
would have as well.
Yeah, and then we did the arc and stuff like that. So yeah, we finally got it in the game, and I'm excited for it. So yeah, it's just been great. I think we're going to get to the point now where players, rightly so, are going to say, well, any event over 750k just needs to be mayhem mode, and I get it, and I get it. So let's see what the feedback says.
So how do you
Because I
guys judge it? Do you this just score feedback, or do you actually run some
well,
numbers, and what
well,
numbers do you
we
run, maybe?
Well, we look at sentiment, obviously, because we want people to be happy with the changes we're making,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we don't want to make a change and upset everybody, so we're going to look at sentiment, but we're also looking at like similarities from the previous from what you had. Like, we want people to be roughly spending the same amount. If you're probably sat here going, "Well, I'm spending less now," maybe that's going to be a tweak that we're going to make where you were spending slightly. Let me just make it clear: we don't want you to spend more. This
Yeah,
is
but
not a game mode
I
to make you
think,
spend more.
I think people will spend less, but more people will spend. That's what I feel. But then,
Yeah, it
and it's
depends.
a say.
Depends.
I think you're gonna be. I think you're gonna end up with more revenue probably. Because like I said, I haven't done a single endurance event this year, but I've dropped $80
Yep.
this weekend. Literally $80, smash it all out because I wanted to level some bots. So, do you know what I mean?
I
That's
mean,
eighty
that's
dollars
the
I would
idea.
never spend.
I mean, the idea is to give people the flexibility, which is why I think people will push for this game mode to be in every week, really, because it gives you flexibility, and I think it's great because yeah, if you like Soldier, sorry Soldier, I know you're here. I'm gonna name drop you because you said it publicly anyway. Soldier liked playing in a fight. This is the best thing about the game mode. Soldier liked playing with 5 fuel cells. Great. Soldier can play with 5 fuel cells this weekend. Doesn't have to play with 15 if he doesn't want to. And you might not like 5 fuel cells this weekend, and you're going to play with 15. You know what I mean? Soldier's going to do more battles, but he's going to be happy, and you're going to do less battles, and you're going to be happy. And that is why I love this game mode, because it's appealing to everyone. I hope the majority do. I've not checked the feedback of this weekend yet. It's been a very busy weekend. I'm packing to go to London next week because of the movie and things. But I hope that, for me anyway, because this was the feedback I was saying to the team on the first time we ran it, is we kind of need to look after the lower players now.
Yeah.
Kind of sorted the top side. And I hope that we've got there, that everybody's kind of happy with it. We've got the top side, we've got the low side. People are doing it in less time. People are happy. People can play 5 fuel cells if they really don't like this 15 fuel cell thing. There's an option. Just pick one.
Yeah, like I said, the only 2 things that annoyed me this weekend was, one, they're getting the 0%. I was like, and you get XP but get 0 points. That was like a bit like, that was where I was really frustrated.
Yeah.
And the other one was when I clicked 5 fuel cells a couple of times. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But, yeah.
And then there's also obviously this is going to be the, I know you're going to complain about the price when I say this, is obviously it's in the shop as well. So you've got 3 methods of getting, I know what you're going to say about the price. I know, let's not debate about it.
No, you don't think you do. I'm like, it's what it is. Like,
it is,
then, you know, $150, yeah, is a bit expensive, but...
It's expensive, yeah.
But then don't spend $150. Go and spend $40. Do the event.
This is it.
Go and spend $50, $60, and do the event.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long. You could literally spend, I think, $80 and smash it out in 4 hours.
Well, you're covering all bases here because you're
4 hours. You're not dedicating your whole weekend. It was a whole weekend. I'd be like, I've ordered this $150 for a whole weekend. You entice people a bit too much, maybe. But you're like, listen, if you want your whole weekend, I mean, I've heard for some people going buying the bot and then doing the event and spending on leveling that box as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on that, you know.
I mean, yeah, you've just picked up on one case, but there's also another case where there's a new player who's HQ17, who's got no way in a chance being able to join your alliance to do this event, and they can just go into the shop, they can just do the event, and like you say, they will just pick up some XP. And then if they do that for the next year, they might be able to field a whole... well, actually, they will field a whole team of 5-star bots. Might not be the best team, but they'll have a team picking up 5-star shads because their team is getting stronger. But there's just that avenue of lower players being able to pick up newer content, just you know, without even joining a stronger... Because obviously there's an alliance requirement, this kind of event. You know, no one can join some of the top alliances who's HQ7. They wouldn't even take their bid. I mean, but, you know, the shop allows them to just go in there and bypass all those requirements. And then in time, they will be able to meet those requirements. So, yeah, like you said, go play in the event. You can choose your speed with a 15 or 5, or if you can't choose an alliance because you're quite low, you've got the shop if you really want to spend. If you don't want to spend, don't spend. Go and enjoy the event. You probably get some great rewards anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, good event, I hope.
Yeah, very, very good. Another sort of hot topic they've been in the chat. 5-star combiners. I mean, we know Volcanicus coming.
Is it a hot topic? We know they're coming.
Oh, I get asked every stream when they're coming. Volcanicus. When's 5-star Volcanicus coming? That's honestly a question every stream I get.
Honestly, I would probably say next year now.
Yeah, I said I think after the new combiner. I said
he needs a lot of work. He needs a lot of work. I mean, look, if people really want to...
Does he really though?
Yeah, probably.
We've got an anti-fire core. We've got accounts for him already, so you can buff that fire right up.
Yeah,
why not?
I feel like, you know, he really needs to come into the meta some way. We can't just ramp up all his numbers. Maybe an ability here or there needs to change.
I don't think you need to. I think his abilities are good. You just don't do enough. I think if you buff all his abilities up, I give him a 5-star ability that, like, I don't know, let's talk madness, like giving him a vector or something that does... That'd be actually pretty good, actually, you know. That's just like random, but I think actually pretty... But maybe not for Volcanicus, but that'd be pretty genius, actually.
What, a vector?
Bring him back to full health again in the launch pad. Wow.
I've already tried.
Oh, that'd be good.
I've already tried. No, because I was playing around with Ruination one day, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if Ruination had Vector Prime? Or any power core, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it just didn't work. Which was a shame, yeah, because what I was doing is I wanted to see, yeah, if Victor Prime would work on him, or if we could just bring a combiner back to life when they die, would be pretty epic, or they just get a massive healing. But it didn't work, which was a shame, really. So sorry, already tested it.
I honestly think they'll just bring up his levels to sort of
Yeah,
match
I think it
ruination
needs.
and give him some sort of protection because he dies quite quickly. You don't
We
need,
need. We,
that's it.
we need
Honestly,
to.
like,
We definitely need to review him. But I would say probably we're talking next year. But if the players really do think he needs value changes, that's a different story. It probably can be done pretty quick.
yeah, I think the 5-star ability is what you need to work on. That's the bit you
I
need to get
might,
right, and
I
it's
might
just a
say
case
to
of
the
like how
yeah.
much. I really do.
I tell you what we'll do. Well, I'll speak to the team next week, and I'll be like, I was on Wozza stream, and he, his community really thinks it just needs, number changes. Can I just take this project and just
Well,
ramp the numbers up?
see what they say in the chat. I
So,
mean, well, like I said,
yeah, we'll see.
the 5-star ability is the big one in it. I mean, that should be the game changer. I mean,
Yeah.
if we were talking about likes of Victorian right now, I'd be like, yeah, good luck with that. I mean, she does need a total rework. But I
I
don't
thought
think.
it's exciting. I've not worked on a combiner yet, so I think some of the combiners, like you say, really bad, but it's also like an opportunity to really make them better. Like
Well,
really make them better.
well, for me, Volcanicus is all about damage, but he dies
Yeah.
quickly. The flip side of that, so he needs a 5-star ability that's going to help that. Defensor, on the other hand, lasts forever, but doesn't do enough damage. So his 5-star ability probably needs damage. So it's just sort of looking at the downfall. That's a good thing about having a 5-star ability. Is you just looking at what they're lacking and go, right, well, that's what I'm going to get the 5-star ability then, because that's what
Yeah.
they're lacking. Whereas the problem with Victorian is they're all pretty crap, the abilities, and
Yeah.
that's where that's going to need a whole new sort of
Yeah.
looking at, I think.
But for Volcanicus, I think, yeah, probably not this year. I mean,
No,
it's
I did
nearly
think this
no.
year. I always said
It's
after the new
nearly.
combiner, I always said so.
I mean, I can't believe it personally. We're in October.
Yeah.
Like, where is the year gone?
I can't believe I'm playing this game for 9 years in January.
Jeez,
Nearly a decade.
crazy.
That's
It's
mad.
crazy.
That's the longest
I
I've played
know.
any game.
Well, it's funny because I've nearly now been at Space 8 now for 5 years.
Really? Wow. I didn't think it was
Which
that long.
is which is
That's
crazy
mad.
because when I joined, people kept saying you'll be gone next year, and then next year came, and they'll be like, you've got one more, you've got one more year.
I think
before
I
they-
even said that to her, yeah.
yeah. You'll be stolen in a year. Then the next year came, I'm still here, and so I'm pretty much here until everybody else is, I think now. Because yeah, I really do like the game. It's really good. The players and the community is really fun, very challenging. But sometimes I do think that every community manager kind of probably needs to change every 3 or 4 years. So I'm not saying I'm leaving, by
So,
the way. But
yeah,
it's
you
just
heard it there first. Dale's going now.
no. I'm not leaving. I'm just saying that every community. I personally think that a community manager needs to be gone after 4 years, because I think it's more like, not because they're doing a bad job in a way, but it's more like, can you take a community so far before you start to maybe drown out too much in a way because you've heard it all before? Whereas somebody else coming in gives a fresh perspective on everything. And that's
I
probably
don't know. I think if you left this game, it'd take a massive downturn.
no,
I really do.
no, I don't think so. I think when you bring in somebody new, I think they get that fresh perspective. They really do. They come in, they can see, maybe they can see something I didn't see, and they can almost do something different. I think that's the key word, is do something different than what I did. And that's why I remain positive, because yeah, that's what even with the games I play, I'm like, the community manager's been around 4 years and they're still not addressing what we're saying. So maybe the next person will. Maybe there's people out there who think the same for me as well, right? Like, oh my god, he's been here 5 years and he's still. I know Grindtime's probably thinking he's still not made the combiner timer longer. He's been here 5 years. Bring somebody else.
I don't think
please.
anyone thinks that. I really don't. I think a lot of think, why are you not listening to Dale? I think that's honestly like a lot of the
Well,
feedback.
I appreciate it, thank you.
But,
To be fair, it's not like the team don't listen; they do listen. I just think sometimes they have to make hard decisions to keep a game running, and that is just the be all and end all of it. Sadly, the team make a lot of sacrifices to make sure that the game is healthy. The
No,
players
but
also
some decisions are a bit.
It
I don't
it
know.
goes both ways as well. The players also make a lot of sacrifices as well to make sure the game is doing really well and it's healthy and it's going to be here for the next 5 years, hopefully. So Yeah, I think it goes both ways.
Hmm. And I think the first maybe difficult question you're going to have, I think.
Just the
So,
first one. What? We've not had any difficult
oh god,
questions yet,
no.
have
Oh no, these
we?
have been easy. These ones.
Oh yes, come
Um,
on then.
so obviously legacy versus endurance. So why do we find
Oh
that
god.
legacy bots are better than endurance events? Considering endurance events are bigger, you know, more points,
I
probably more
don't know if
money.
they're better.
They are.
I don't.
They
I
are.
can't say they're better.
Well, a good
I can.
good
I mean,
endurance bot this year.
uh. Oh, you're putting me on the spot now.
Beachcomber.
Beachcomber. Yeah,
Okay.
Beachcomber. Come
Name
on.
another one.
Uh.
I'll give you Leo
Beachcomber.
Prime. That was like Christmas,
Leo.
January,
No,
maybe.
no, Leo. No, Leo Prime. I think Leo Prime's a bit of a cheat because when we released Leo Prime, he wasn't very good until we fixed him,
Oh yeah.
and now he's too good. When we
Yeah.
released Leo Prime, he wasn't actually doing what we said he should be doing.
Yeah.
And if any bot changes in the future, I don't want to hear anybody complain about Leo Prime
No, I don't think
because
they
when
will.
we because
It is a
when
bit
we
mad.
released
Honestly,
him,
it is a bit mad.
when we released him, he was not good, and
Well, yeah.
then we tuned him all the way up, and now he's too good.
Well,
I think there needs to be a middle ground. I don't know what we've done.
the
With
hard
him, but
thing
he's
in
very
test
good.
was
So,
that when we got it in test, and this is the hard thing though, that I saw the numbers, and you see the numbers, but then when you look at Sunstreaker doesn't do damage that it does because it's spread out. And so when I ran the numbers in
yeah,
Leo Prime, I was like, it's not doing what it should, but then it is spread out over 10 seconds, and I was like,
yeah.
And it wasn't really
But
doing it, but then you sort of still think he's doing the right numbers because you link it to Sunstreaker, but now you start to think, well, is Sunstreaker
yeah,
doing the right numbers then? Because he does a similar thing where it says 7k, but it'll do like 7k to one bit and then a bit different on the outside. So I don't know, but anyway, back to the question though.
yeah. The question
I
was going
know,
back to the question,
but
putting me back to the question. Yeah,
but
I,
two endurance bots. Whereas I don't think there's been a poor legacy bot this year.
well, I mean, there's been a lot of comments about poor legacy bots. I mean, like yourself, you said Drift wasn't very good.
No, no, no. Let's not. No, I said he wasn't a warbot, and I still kind of stand by that. He's not a warbot. Though.
He's not a warbot.
But legacy was thought of as not being warbots and being reworked. But then endurance bots for me are warbots. They should be because they're
Yes.
geared towards the
Yeah.
top players. So
Well,
those bots should be the pinnacle of the game.
I honestly, I don't. I really don't think the legacy bots are better than when you say they're better than endurance bots, are you saying that the design of them better? Because
I
don't
think legacy bots are good bots. Not necessarily. I mean,
right, okay,
Beachcomber is, but not necessarily war bots. But they're good bots.
yeah,
What they're designed to set out to be. Endurance bots
okay,
are pretty good bots, rather than
yeah,
being amazing bots. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think legacy just pips. I don't think legacy are like surpassing what they should be. I think legacy bots are doing what it says in the tin. They should be a good bot, used for leveling, maybe using some war teams, but they're not going to be like the main OP bots. So I kind of get that.
well,
They've been
like
reworked.
probably.
Yeah. I don't think
Noseco's probably
maybe,
is the best
but,
example,
you know.
to be honest, because he's not insanely good, but people are actually running for war, which is crazy, right?
I think Drift's the best example because he's good.
Yeah, I love
Zen
Drift.
farming and
I
all
love
this
Drift.
brilliant. Would I use him in war? I'd love to, and I've used him in a couple of wars, but
same.
not like. But he's very niche,
I
and that's great.
love Drift.
That's fine. I love my Drift, and he was awful. Let's be honest, he was absolutely atrocious, and you've made him relevant, and that's what I think Legacy was set out to do. You've done what you set out to do. The endurance bots for me are set out to be the pinnacle of the game, what top players are going to use in wars, and in my mind, we should see everyone running all the legacy bots, all the endurance bots this year in a war team there or thereabouts. It should be in everyone's war team because that is the meta this year that everyone's going to use. But I don't feel like you're going to do that.
Yeah, it's difficult because Legacy, like you say, I guess my strategy with Legacy is I don't want to make them too strong, and I also don't want to go overcomplicated on the design because I would feel bad as somebody who is not a designer, who is not their job to actually design bots, to create a product and then make it have tons of bugs, or it become very problematic in content that I just hand it over to the designers and I go, yeah, now you fix it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. That's why the legacy project has always been quite. It's very simple. When you read the designs, are quite simple. Obviously, sometimes they're quite complex, like Cosmos with his G1s, his double G1s, where if he's in the air, he gets stacking, but different things that we can do. But yeah, it's tough. Why? It's tough. Look, I mean, I can only tell you the strategy that we use for legacy, and that's because I don't, I'm not really into the design of endurance, and people can have their own opinions if it's better or not. I can only tell you the strategy that we use in legacy, and that's we just want to talk to people. Like you've seen with Cyclonus, we've got time. We're not pressed on time. We can launch it whenever we want, which you can't do with an endurance, sadly. It is a project where we just speak to people and we go, what do you think is the bigger points for you? And we try and build a design based around that. Like Lightspeed's probably a bad example because he blind targets, but he's quite fast. We just want to stick to what they did before or stick to like lore elements, but we also want to just keep speaking to people because the more people you speak to, the more ideas I get in my head. And I feel like it's more of a play. I don't think it's me doing it. I think it's more the players are giving us good ideas to make good content. And I think that's probably why it might do well. Because if the players are suggesting it, and more players kind of support that suggestion, then it's like a no-brainer, right? It's just like you're giving the players what they're asking. It's not rocket science. It's not science. So yeah, I don't want to get into a debate on what's better. You can tell me what's better, but all I will tell you, all I'll tell you is, we've got a lot of time, and if you've got a lot of time, then you're probably going to hit the nail on the head more than you don't.
Well, that kind of leads on to the next question. So it's about
Okay.
sort of playtest and late
Mm.
release. I mean, we've seen this weekend that the bot's still not even finished, maybe yet, and we've actually even got the
I mean,
bot in the event.
that was a good endurance bot. What do you think of it?
Awful.
You don't like it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So
Um.
I'm literally going for the event this weekend because I need the resources, and I've just spent all my 5-star shards in this batch because this last batch was absolutely immense. I've literally
Yeah.
cleared it with blue streak to go, and I might want to go for blue streak as well. So I need blue streak. Volcanicus is coming, so I'm going to need to pull Grimlock. That's another 5,000 shards. I'll have to upgrade Volcanicus. That's another 2,500 shards. So that's 12,500 shards that I need just off the bat for 5-star Volcanicus and
Yeah.
to get those. Now I'm going to need obviously after Breaker at some point to complete Computron because he's got 5-star bots now. That's a 1 in
I
3
know.
chance. So let's just say I need 10,000 for that. These
Mm.
stars are starting to mount up, and that's why I said in a previous video that I think by you guys creating a really good batch last time, you've kind of
Yeah.
got rid of the 5-star shard problem. Everyone have collating all these 5-star shards. Now, don't get me wrong, I've still got plenty of shards there. I've got like 250,000 4-star shards just sort of sat there doing nothing. So I've got shards, but I'm thinking 5-star Defensor, 5-star Volcanicus, and once these combine and start coming out one by one, they're going to
Yeah.
take a
Yeah.
lot of shards. So that's the reason I've done the event, not because of the bot. Now, the bot's good, the
Okay.
bot's good. If it's not, it's not. But there's still talking test of it not getting hacked with the ability on defense, that the
Yeah. I've got.
hollows are not
Um.
working right on
It's.
defense, not doing the EMP, not doing the damage on death. There's still quite a few bugs with it not working right, and so it's
Well.
hard to test and say it's good or not because you don't even know it's doing what it should.
Well. Yeah. I mean, Face Off Sam is very new, and this was his first project. So for his first design, I actually think he's done genuinely very good first
For the
design.
record, I don't think he's done
Yeah,
bad. I think it's the timing. Like
yeah, he's
we
done.
got the
Well,
bot
I
in
think
playtest a week ago. We've still not even got the visuals in playtest. The actual
yeah,
bot and things like that. Like it was very rushed again. Very rushed.
it's you don't. I can't justify the. Yeah, I can.
I don't
I, don't-
understand it though.
I
I
hate
don't understand
I
it. Like
hate coming on here, and we talk about. Well, I love coming on here.
yeah. I mean, you
You know,
don't like the
I don't mean.
question. I know you mean. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I know.
yeah,
I know. I
yeah.
don't. I hate the kind of question because I know we know everybody knows. And I'm going to be going to dinner with Yanis tomorrow, and I'm going to be like, God, why are we doing this again? Why are we pushing out content in testing a week before it's supposed to be out? We really need to do better, and that's what the designers agree with. I mean, Sam's just come on board, and I know we just had this. We had Vivek who was on board as well, and he agreed that we needed to get things in earlier, and Sam knows that we need to get things in earlier now, and I don't really want to keep telling you that it's going to be earlier because we've spoken about this all before. Like it's it's
Well, you got to think that we
it's
said.
it's something that I am always talking about, and Yanis is the same. Yanis is very much on the community side on this.
I would go
Yanis
as
is
far.
very.
I would go as far as saying it's the biggest problem in the game right now.
It
Because
is.
it
It is
leads to the process
because
of that it coming out without the proper bug fixes, and then only limited people have got it. And so if it's overpowered, people aren't going to tell you because they're going to take advantage of it, like with Roadbuster. If it's broken, they're going to be complaining, but you're going to get a lot of complaints because not a lot of people have got it. And then you put it in a 5-star batch in 8 months' time, and then
Yeah.
all hell breaks loose. But it all stems back to the bot not being completely finalised.
Yeah,
Like for me, it should be finished 2 weeks for the endurance, and it still leaves
yeah.
2 weeks for playtesters to have a fiddle with it and mess about with it, and like
I agree.
you know,
From my point of view here, I agree. Yanis is on the same wavelength, and in Yanis's words, is there's two important parts of content. It's the bot, endurance bot, and it's the combat. Everything else can wait, and that is the same opinion as me. If you think that us community people turn up on a Monday and we go, "Oh, that was great. We did everything in time," it's definitely not our communication. It's definitely like, what are we doing? Like we really do need to be earlier. But I'll be honest, I was quite a little bit disappointed that the bot did get into playtesting late. I made that quite clear to our designers. It was very disappointing because the players will definitely think that is. And they have promised me that we're going to get better at that. We want to get earlier. This is, again, what I've been told. And they also said that all next week, if anything comes up with these bots, like you said, bugs, their week is just dedicated to that. But if there is bugs, you've just told me that there's people commenting in playtest now saying there's a few extra things. They're going to be all fixed on Monday. I can tell you that now.
I'll put money they won't.
I will tell you.
I
will
will
be
put
fixed
money on it. I literally would, honestly.
I'll tell you why they're going to be fixed, because I'm going to be sat next to the design on Monday morning, and I'm going to be like, right, what are you doing? He's going to be like, I'm going to do the new combats. No, you're not. You're doing the bug fixes. You're doing these bug fixes.
I remember.
So...
I mean, when was SG Jetfire out?
Oh,
3 years ago.
22. Fabian.
So that came out late. Went into playtest. Changes were made after it. And I remember sitting there, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know you're community manager and all that, but saying, this will not happen again, we can't have this, we agree. And then we're here again. This is what frustrates me. I understand. Listen, mistakes do happen. I understand that, I get that. But you set yourself up to fail. And you do it time and time again. You don't learn from the mistakes and go, oh, we're going to change the whole process. I mean, you even changed the whole process from 4 week sagas to 8 to give yourselves more time to do these things. And then I feel like then you just thought, oh, well, let's cram it full of content again. And then you just give yourself the same amount of time regardless anyway, because you brought the combats out every 4 weeks. So you're in exactly the same predicament.
We definitely need to improve. And I can't.
I know,
keep,
yeah.
The thing is, I can't keep coming onto this stream saying we need to keep
but
improving.
I honestly do think that you believe that and want that to happen. I do, and I think the team do. But I don't know. There's obviously an inherent problem behind the scenes of the process, and that's what you need to get to. And I don't know what that is. And I understand. Listen, if it was one bot a year or every 2 years, it's one bot. You're like, listen, we had license issues. I think people would be like, right, okay, I understand that. But it seems to be like every bot you get like 2 weeks week beforehand.
I think with this bot that we had a lot of problems with the models right until pretty much the day before the stream, which was a big shame because we wanted to get the marketing renders out much earlier, especially the models and stuff, because they were super cool. It was a lot of back and forth with our designers as well, because there's things that we comment on and we all look at the toys and things and we're like, no, actually you need to change this and that, and there's a lot of back and forth in that process. So It depends how picky we are, really, when it comes to models, and we're very picky because we want the models to to look exactly like the toy line, and then we've got to get the approval from Hasbro as well of everything we're using. So that is a long, long, long process. And obviously, our artists do a lot of work for us, so it's all about them prioritizing things as well. But I really do genuinely want to make sure that we can get on a schedule where we can get things done earlier because we really want to put it in the game earlier. It would be so cool to create the challenge mode, like you said, 2 weeks before the content's out, so people can test the bot 2 weeks before it's out. Like that's my dream case scenario, is just having it there and people can almost.
I don't think that's dream case scenario. I only think that should be the minimum because that's when
It
people
should
start putting
be.
the bids in.
It should be.
That is literally
Yeah,
where it should
I
be.
agree.
You know, 2 weeks
I
for
agree.
So, but at some point, you know, you've got to break the cycle.
Well,
So, you know, you're working on the combat now, and then I imagine that'll take 4 weeks, say, and then you're gonna start the endurance. So really, like, you've got to break the cycle and go, listen, let's get this content out in 2 weeks. I know it's gonna be hard, but let's get it out in 2 weeks, done, and then we start the next one now. So you've got that 2 week. Do you know what I mean?
In a way, with this being Sam's first bot and him being now like the lead designer, in a way he's basically seen everything. He's basically seen the criticism of the community saying that this needs to be earlier, and he's had the stress of doing everything up to the wire. So it's almost like, this is a learning lesson for you. This needs to be early. And he agrees. Like, he's not sat there going, oh, no, we'll do this all again because I loved it. I love the, you know, the clutch of it all. No, he's definitely saying that we need to do things earlier as well. So I'm told the new combat's going to be in testing next week, this week, well, tomorrow. So early next week. So we've already started to make sure that's getting in earlier. Then it is really like, because even for me, like I'm doing just a legacy project. Like I've also helped us design if I could also, you know, have hands if they need it. Like if they really needed to. For example, we've got an endurance in December. I could start that now. If they really, you know, wanted, like I could just copy Optimus Prime and we'll just build Optimus Prime as a, you know, model demo. And I'll just say, hey, this is the ability. Now you just go change all the art and it's done for December. So there's a lot of things that we can talk about in the background to make things easier. I'm also competent with the engine now, so they could almost throw me anything. And we could probably make something work. So we've also got that. But yeah, we definitely need to do better. I don't want to keep coming on here. We definitely need to do better. It needs to get better. And I hope that the next stream I'm on, I can say, well, we did it. I really do hope we can just say we did it. So lots of discussions in the background now. We all know, we've all seen it. It's like we're not turning a blind eye. Like this is just blatantly obvious, and it's not healthy as well. Like it's not healthy for like Sam working on a weekend to make sure that this product is great. Shouldn't have to do that. It should just be done already at that point. So yeah, we know. We know, but I just don't want people to think, oh, you know, he's coming on here and he's you know, defending it again. There's nothing to defend, right? I've been on here 3 times now, and it's the same story. I'm almost like, you could almost say, like, I'm tired of it. I am tired of this thing because we do need to get it. We need to get it early. So I'm trying to remain hopeful because Sam's obviously new and he's seen it. He's just been thrown in the deep end and he's just seen the chaos of it.
I will give him this much. He was doing some quick turnarounds. I will give him that. It was good to see.
Yeah, because he's dedicated. He's so dedicated. And then we will have a chat next week, probably with a nice cold drink, and we will talk about it. You know, we'll have a good chat about deadlines and time. And we're also talking to design next week, so it's almost like, can we get them in a room and say, look, these are the targets for our content. Can you meet these targets so we can at least go back to the players and set some expectations?
Yeah, I also think it'll solve half your problems. I think your endurance bots were better because you got more time to balance them. I think there'll be less bugs, so you're not working them afterwards.
We saw that with Orion Pax. Because for me, I don't like it when a designer. I mean, they obviously know they've got their own ideas because they're a designer. Maybe that also goes into my favor with Legacy because I'm not a designer and I don't say I am. So I almost go to the community and say, hey, you should help me on this project because this is like a collab. Whereas a designer will probably build something and then show the community, and the community are like, oh, we we didn't ask for that. Like, this is just not something I'm looking for. With Orion Pax, because it was so early, we changed the design because people didn't like the design, and I always fear that the later it goes, we lose that flexibility
Yeah.
to do that. So we definitely need to get earlier. And Jesse and Sam both agree that it needs to be earlier. So hopefully we can start to pack future projects on the path, on the side, and just prioritize that combat endurance, get them in early, and let's do early challenge modes because it just helps everybody. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's hope we can do it. I still remain hopeful.
Yeah. I mean, I remember one of my best experiences in playtest was Chromia,
Mm.
with Fabian.
Oh, Fabian.
So I remember us getting Chromia, and we were like, no, this doesn't work at all. And we just started brainstorming, and everyone was like, how cool would it be if you had a shock tower? They should put, I think they should put like a beacon down, or some put them down. How cool would it be if put a shock tower down? And Fabian was like, we can do that. And we're like, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what?
do that.
Do
And
you
he did
know
it. And
what?
it's like 10 seconds, like, no, ramp it up to like 30 seconds, whatever it is now. And he's like, yeah, and he was really open to it. And we were like, yeah,
Oh
yeah, do
yeah,
it.
Fabian. You
And
know what?
honestly, and it really worked. But I think that, I mean, I don't want to talk too bad of Fabian, but I feel like at the start, he was, and I find this with a lot of designers, at the start, they're really open. And then they make one bot that's OP. And it seems to me like behind the scenes, Yanis or someone has gone, right, listen, you need to rein that in. You've gone too far. And then they go the other way. And the bot starts
Yeah.
becoming a bit
Well,
underpowered, right? And we've gone too far the other way then. And then they got sort of like, meh, a bit rubbish now.
well, I don't know. I mean, in that kind of discussion, I'm 100% sure Fabian would have gone to Yanis. Oh, they want a shock tower, and he would have gone, yeah, do it. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know that when
So he
Fabian
does.
came
So he
along, I
goes,
was like, this guy's brilliant. He was doing everything we asked for, and we were getting some good
yeah.
content. I think
And I
Six
think
Gun was there around that time, maybe as well. SG Jetfire, I know, was late, but we sort of had a. And it's still a good bot now. You know, these were really good bots. And then I think after SG Jetfire, maybe around that time, that's when they sort of started to go backwards
I
again. And I
think.
got frustrated. And
Well, I
if you
think it
look at the
was.
bots that came out after that, they were quite poor. They're not
I
in the
think.
game too much
Yeah, but
now either, so it does sort
it's
of
difficult.
fit the narrative what I'm saying around bringing out really OP bots and going, well, you know,
Yeah, it's difficult because when you're a designer and you've designed over 100 different pieces of content, you also, not to speak bad of Fabian because he's great, but you can get through a time where you start to get lost of ideas of what to do because you've
mm,
nearly done everything. You've really like again, this is where I talk about changing community manager for a different perspective. Changing the designer is also good as well after so many times because they also get a different perspective. Fabian simply had done so much content in this game. He maybe have just got to a point where he thought, "Wow, what am I going to do now? I've
yeah,
kind
but
of
you
done
know
everything
what?
once."
You could literally just go
But
and
I
play
tell you
test and
what,
go, what do you guys think? And then take the
yeah,
five
I
examples,
agree.
put them in chat and go, right, vote.
Yeah,
And then the
and
most vote
this
or the
is
most two vote, if it's split between two, you've got the next two bots
yeah,
there. Right? There you go. If one gets a lot of
and I,
votes, you've got that bot there.
yeah, and
I'm gonna be worried if like all five ideas had like two votes each. Then you're like, oh my god, like some
oh
people don't
no, I
really
just
like
had
this,
to.
and a few people do. But generally, you don't. I think they did that once with something where they brought something out and went, right, listen, this is the three options we've got. What do you guys think? And we
Yeah,
all voted, and I didn't mind that, And sometimes,
yeah,
like, I was like, I don't agree with their idea, but I was like, but I can't argue with it because six people voted for that idea, and only four people voted for the idea that I thought. It's just like you've got to go with the majority, and there's no arguing that.
Fabian is just great. I've got I can't say a bad word about Fabian because he's just. I think it's also helped my style when I approach playtest and do things because I liked like you said,
Mm.
my idea of Fabian was, well, he wasn't all the time, but he had that idea where he was very open. He was open to change, and to be honest, when I think back to how Fabian worked, I've got no idea how he pulled it off. A bot every what was it? Every 4 weeks there was a
Yeah.
bot, and every 2 weeks there was a combat. How? How did he do that? That is some epic turnaround when you think back to it, and pretty crazy as well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a short break from the content for some questions. So let's go back a bit and see what people are asking. Let's have a look. So just to point out, Candyman's put, Dale, don't mess up Cyclonus. He's been waiting for this for a long
Thank-
time, honestly, like he's been eager for this. He was very very happy when
What's
it
that?
was announced.
Cyclonus.
Yeah. So
Cyclonus is a tough one. I hear it is a tough one because
it is.
he's he's yeah he's the first one I built of a range character because I normally like building like if there's a warrior you want me to build it because we're talking drift
Mm,
s. But Cyclonus has got me thinking a lot.
it is hard.
It's
The
a
funny
tough one
story
with
was, the meme of the guy smashing his keyboard. I remember
yeah
talking. They were talking about some changes or something, and I said to Fabian, "Why are you there? Just go and fix Power Glide. Just give him more damage." And I think he did something, and it honestly, like, I think he just said, "Oh right, well, rather than targeting a defense, we'll have it where you can target anywhere." I was like, "No, that's not the problem. That is not the problem at all." And he was like, "Dumb. That's it. I think I went,
I
no,
mean
you know." I
I
was like,
mean I mean
"Ah."
my dream when I was looking at aerial it's not like I don't want to build an aerial bot. It's just I don't think I'll be very good at building an aerial bot because I'm more smash smash.
Yeah, but you've got a playtest there. Go and ask them and ask
Yeah,
their
I know,
opinions.
but I
Plain and
think
simple. And
some of the ideas I've got in my head at the minute is I would love a one cost bot.
oh, what's it? What?
A one cost bot.
Why
Um,
not? Why not?
I know that this is it. So something I'm thinking of, if I can pull it off, is like a one cost bot, and then every time you use the ability, he gains 2 bombs. By the time he gets to like 10, he's got like 20 bombs or something, which I just think is just like, sorry, this
I
is
think
just
you're overthinking
yeah,
it though.
just
I just think having a
yeah,
cleanup
well,
bot. I think it's having a cleanup bot that's really cheap. Why
yeah,
not?
just I would look. Yeah, this is the idea for me. It's just something cheap. Just like, can we make a character in Transformers Earth Wars, which is basically 1+1? I would love to. Like
I
that is
just think
basically that. It was just
just just
this
something
is again.
different. Just
This
something.
is
Think
it.
outside the
This is
box a
it.
bit. Something different. And we don't want
This is it.
another Skydive. We don't want another Jetfire. We've got them already. We don't want another
This is
Silver
it.
Bolt. We've got them already. Think outside the box a bit and go, right, what is there not in the game? What have we had
This
not
is
got?
Well, this is
And
it.
go
This
from
is what we
there.
kind of try and look at legacy. Is like obviously people say, well, you can't make robots, but we do try and think, well, what haven't we done before? Like for example, Lightspeed. Okay, yeah, we've done blind before, but we haven't really put blind on a bot in the way he has. Like where he just
Mm.
runs over it and he just blinds it and he can blind bots, he can blind buildings, like full blind. We're not talking reducing the range because Metal Hawk does that. We're talking full 100% no range. Kind of not done that before. And then obviously we did Cosmos, which we have done before, but he hacked. But now he has the Ricochet, which also hacked something else, which was quite cool. So we are trying to think outside the box when we come to Legacy. So yeah, I think Cyclonus might edge to be that one cost, but using the tech of every time you use it, it gets stronger. So it is a 1+1. It starts off very cheap, but kind of think of a. Actually, now I think about it, it kind of makes more sense that the price always reflects the, the cost. So once it gets to 5 cost, you're doing 5 cost damage, and then 6 cost damage or 1 cost damage. So you know what I mean. So at 1 cost he's
Not
doing 1 cost
necessarily.
damage.
Depends on what the
Well,
one does. Because obviously, like if you've got one doing 1,000, you get to
I
12.
don't
So
think it.
12,000 in an area. That's gonna be quite OP for
I
12. But I suppose 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8. Then
Yeah,
maybe
you
you got
are.
to think
This
1
well,
plus
this
2
is
plus 3
it.
plus 4 plus 5 is a lot. So 5,
Yeah,
4,
yes.
9, 12, 30. That's 50 ability points to get to 5, 15. So maybe actually,
So
yeah,
this
that's
is
a
it.
good
Yeah,
point. Get you
this is
thinking
it.
though. That's
So
what I mean. What you got to
yeah, this is
think.
what I mean. This is what I mean. This is what we do when we think of legacies. We think, well, what haven't we done before, and can we can we do it? So yeah, doing a 1 cost spot would just be just
See, when you
great.
said one class bot, I thought like 1 plus 0. But
No,
like,
no, no.
really low
Just
damage. So like, for
like
example, like
1+1.
small screen, just like finishing things off. Just like, you know what, I've got
Yeah, just what?
Jetfire. That won't kill
Yeah,
it. But I've got Jetfire and Power Glide. Two of them will take him out. That's where I thought you'd
yeah,
go.
yeah,
But
yeah. You're thinking like, okay, I'm
we've
gonna
got
take,
no spam bots. There's very few spam bots in this
but
game.
yeah,
Like
that's
for
it
really low cost. And
exactly.
that's where I sort of see drift.
Yeah,
Not drift. Dust up. Dust up is
yeah.
pretty awful. But
Just
if it was
something.
one, I'd be like, okay, one
Yeah,
cost isn't
just
too bad.
something cheap where you're like, actually, I'm gonna take Cyclonus because I know everybody else is gonna do a lot of damage, and he's just cheap. Who's gonna be like, I need something to die now, and it's low
Yeah,
HP.
yeah, yeah.
and I'm just going to chuck them low ability points on him. And I think people probably got a spot in their team for someone who's just like cleanup crew in a way. So lots of things need to happen for that. Need to just keep testing, keep trying the numbers. But the original design was not 1+0. We're talking 1+1. So the price does increase. And then I think my idea was the bombs as well, because I quite like the design of him having 20 bombs, but with it being 1+1, he gets an extra bomb every time the ability. So if it's 1, you get 1 bomb. 1+1, the ability costed 2, so he's got 2 bombs and then 3 bombs and then 4 bombs. But that also makes it harder to balance because all the bombs are doing all the same damage. So the more bombs you add into the equation, the lower the damage is actually going to be, because when you're at 1, you are technically overcomplicating it, because you're like, well, when he gets to 5, he's going to have 5 bombs that I need to compensate for, so I need to compensate for it early. So those are the kind of things you're thinking about when you're designing things. I'm not a designer. Maybe I'm completely wrong, by the way. I'm not trained to be a designer. I just enjoy games, and that's how I think about it. So lots to think about.
I think the main critic for me at the
I like the
minute
idea.
is don't overcomplicate it. That's what we tend to do with some bots. I give it this
like,
and that and this and that and that, and just make it do one thing really well, and then go from there.
Well, you can do one thing really well.
Oh no, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying generally. Generally, just give it too much.
Somebody growing in the battlefield.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also another bot design that I kind of want to do, is somebody who, is in the battle, but every 10 seconds he's just getting stronger and stronger. But this is just like...
It's something new again. Like, I'm all for something we haven't got in the game. It's something different.
This is something else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've got quite a few designs that I would like to do on the side, which are honestly quite exciting. But the Cyclonus one is also just trying to stick to lore, because he's actually quite... if you give him 1+1, it kind of doesn't really relate in lore, because in lore he's very strong in lore.
Yeah.
He's
on par with Ultra Magnus sort of thing. So
yeah, so then you've got to think, well, would people be happy with Cyclonus being some sort of cleanup crew when this dude? This is why I kind of thought the scaling of him getting an additional bomb per ability point, because this dude is not weak. This guy's strong by lore.
But then on the flip side of that, you got Power Glide. Who's considered absolute wuss.
which is hilarious, because the first time I picked these up is I didn't know much about Cyclonus, I'll be honest with you. And the first G1, because obviously every time I do these bots, I read all the lore, I read any of the comics, and I also watch the YouTube shorts as well. So for Power Glide, I watched the video of him getting a girlfriend. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yes, it's more on episode, one of the worst episodes we've actually done. It's awful. It's really awful.
So you can imagine me watching. I was like, I've got nothing to work with here. I've got nothing to work with here. Like, what do we do? Do we design a bot, right, that has 2 abilities, can spawn a human,
drops a love heart on the battlefield,
drops a love heart, or drops a love heart on a building? If once we could bring Melody back, maybe on the battlefield. If Melody dies,
no,
he's complete bonkers. And then I watched Cyclonus, and I was like, wow, if we're gonna do anything, it's gonna be around Cyclonus. I don't even care about the Autobot side at this point. Yeah. Like, we could just say sorry to anyone who likes Power Glides.
No one likes
Power Glide.
Not
the design is not going to be based on Power Glide. I can tell you that much. So we're going to Cyclonus heavily on this one.
Yeah, good.
But that's why we wanted the low cost. But then, does it make sense for Cyclonus? He's a very strong bot.
I think you're overthinking that. I just think make him good. Make him good, people will be happy. Yeah, you make him awful, then people will be like, it's not justified, like you said. He's a really good bot in the law, but he's got rubbish ability. So I think just make the ability good. I don't think you need to overthink it really in that sense.
It would just be cool to do the 1 cost. I think it would be cool to try and get the 1 cost out there. It's exciting, yeah. We'll see, okay. Because then kind of got to see. Like, for example, SG Jetfire, I think he does the most damage of all the air classes at the minute. Please tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It's quite easy, how much damage does he do per ability point?
Yeah, true.
So yeah, it's easy to balance when there's one, but then obviously when you're bringing more components in, it's going to be a little bit harder. So these are the things I'm thinking about. Hopefully get something out by the time so I'm going to London next week. Then I'm on holiday for a week because I've not had a holiday since January.
Wow.
I know. So kind of need to go away for a week, I think, and just chill. And then when I come back, I'm going to be full Cyclonus because there is this idea in my head that I would love to do 2 legacy bots by the end of the year. But I'm not just going to do them just to say I did it. If we do, I think we can do Cyclonus in about a month or something. If we get to November, maybe we might start another project on somebody else. We'll see. And if it doesn't go out by the end of the year, who cares? It'll be January. But
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
imagine before
Yeah.
Christmas we'll get something in the bank ready for after Christmas, I think, because of the break.
Yeah,
So.
we'll see what happens. I don't even know who the next one's going to be, if I'm honest. There's quite a lot of bots in there. I would love to do another. I just love doing warriors, to be honest.
I'll give you a list.
I've done quite a few warriors now, and I'm starting to think like,
I think
if they ever decide to do a warrior endurance, I so want to do it. That's-
in terms of legacies, I don't think you can look further than Victorion. Those bots.
No, there is Viper.
bots.
Viper needs to be on there. I need to do Viper.
Ah, but that's a problem though, isn't it? There's no Autobot alternative for Viper.
Stormclash, isn't it? Stormclash
Yeah, but they're
and
totally
Viper.
different though. They're both different completely.
Oh, I know. Yeah, because one does acid, one does fire.
No, I even think the abilities are different. Even I'm pretty sure.
Are they?
Yeah,
Well, that makes it even cool. That makes it even better then, because it's just a full. It's definitely a full-on rework. So, yeah, probably.
Yeah, but the
they'll
thing
get
is though,
next
I think
ones.
Viper wants a rework, but Stormclash doesn't need a rework. That's the difference.
Really?
Stormclash is pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, so it's only a 4-star version though. I think five. I think
I know.
Stormclash does the highest damage after SG Jetfire.
Stormclash. Maybe I need to see if we can do the ability
So
for Viper. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. If people like the Stormclash ability, then we can just look and see why Viper's not using it.
okay,
Because Viper is one of those 2016 bots
yeah,
where back then the team decided to, back then in the early days of the game, the team were like, let's do different abilities for different
yeah,
things.
and everyone kicked off and everyone complained about it. I remember it well, and everyone was like, well, "I want that part and I want that. Why is he better than this?" They're like, "We can't do
Yeah.
this. We can't do this. Let's change tact. Let's make them
Yeah.
identical."
Exactly. Yeah. Could you imagine now if that was still the case? That'd be crazy,
Yeah,
right?
it was back
Like
then.
it would be like
They got
somebody would.
crucified for it.
Yeah, I mean, you would be saying to people you really need pipes, but on the Decepticon side, I don't know who you really need.
Yeah.
Your pipes is not our pipes, and then
Yeah, it
the
was
cons
mad.
would. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, we'll look at parity on that, but I'm just excited to do Cyclonus. That'll be pretty cool. And then I kind of want to do some battle boosts. I think battle
Well,
boosts doing.
You do need to
I
make
mean,
Battle Boost more available. I mean, yeah, that's
well, I have this.
story.
Again, I just keep talking, don't I? Sorry.
Sorry.
I think battle boost could be way cooler. Way cooler. Like I'm talking. Like
Nuke.
I've not. I've not got this approved, but I am gonna probably ask if I can do it. Like, yeah, I think other than a nuke, like for example, when I'm doing war, I hate taking. I know people are gonna laugh at me. I hate taking tracks. I don't know what it is. I hate just dropping his smoke and then him going. Why can't I take a battle boost? What drops me smoke? Why can't I? Why can I have a battle boost that drops me a really bad Minerva healing tower or something?
Because then
like,
you
I'm
kind
not-
of.
Yeah, but I don't really.
I
need
don't know
to,
about that. I don't know.
I don't know, but I would love to like.
I think it's a bit of a cheat code that, because then you don't have to take the bot.
Well, yeah, but it's not as good as the bot.
It's not a battle boost, though, is it? It's just taking an extra ability, isn't it? So
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
but could battle boost be an extra? Maybe they could be.
I think my problem I was going to bring up was the fact that MK4s are behind a paywall at the minute. Like a battle boost
MK4s,
behind a paywall, really? Like why?
I think the problem is they do need to. I think they've been delayed in more the rollout. It's not the fact that people are buying. Like we're not sat here saying, oh, we're going to make loads of money on battle boosts. It's not really not the truth really.
But why not put them in the game then? Why not just put them in crystals?
People have a lot of MK3 at
Yeah.
the minute. And we are starting to roll out MK4. I will chase up with Pyro where we haven't fully because Hyro's been on holiday for 3 weeks actually. So we're quite behind on some of Hyro's stuff, but we've got Cube. We've actually got a new member in Live Ops, so that's pretty cool.
I've heard his name
Um,
mentioned. Yeah.
yeah, so I will chase up why MK4 because like new content should be behind a paywall when it comes out, but not. I think it has
Even
been
boosts, battle boosts. I
Quite...
mean, they're not worth
I think
anything. Like, if you did
it's not.
if you said to me
You,
what are 100 MK4s worth, I'd be like, £2,
yeah, you're right.
$2. I mean, like,
I think it's important to be consistent, even if it's not. Even if it's not
he's
like
doing
that, because...
events even, like, we've not even seen them, like, doing decimator bundles, and even then it's like one of them, I think. You're like, why are you going like one, like, oh my god, I get one MK4, and you're like...
Look, I think we can
Madness.
speak to Hyro and get maybe an MK4 event or something happening then, just to get them out there. I think we can start putting them in the pass as well. I think I'll chase that up. Yeah,
But let's not have like, but have a word. Let's not have like one MK4. I mean, come on now, like, let's make at least 10 or something, you know.
Well, for the next pass, we'll do one just because it'll be
God, just to annoy me.
Just to annoy Wozza on this next stream when he's going through the battle pass rewards, and he'll go, "Yeah, one MK4." Oh, Dale.
Don't buy the pass, yeah.
Don't buy the pass. No, we'll chase that up. Yeah, it has been some time. Somebody else did message me about that, and I was like, yeah, once Hyro's back, we'll make sure we can push them out. So that'll be pretty cool.
I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway because it's a question in the chat. Is Omega's cost ever going down with the new combiner? Having them to be the same cost might be a stretch.
Technically, his cost has gone down indirectly. If you was to buy his parts 4 years ago, well, it's not the same. Would you say that the price 4 years ago is the same price?
I get it, but I still think it's expensive for what it is. He's not the best combiner anymore, and I'm telling people not to bother with it. No, don't bother getting the 5-star version. It's too expensive. It's too much.
I think
you can use the shards better elsewhere.
I think his 5-star just needs a pull. I mean, his 5-star needs some love.
I know, but you're always going to have a combiner. You can't keep going around in circles where you're like, oh, buff that, buff that, buff that, buff that. You're always going to have a worse combiner, no matter what you do. When you buff one, someone else will replace it. That is now the worst one. You'll buff that. That is now the worst one. So when you buff, let's just say that you buff Volcanicus, then people will be complaining obviously about Victorian. Let's say you buff Victorian next. Then people complain about Defensor. When you buff Defensor, complain about Superior. And you can buff them all, and then you want to come full circle. Eventually, people will complain about Ruination, saying he's not good enough because you buffed more past him.
The thing, I'm going to disagree with you there.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why I'm going to disagree is because I was playing War the other day, and I was taking Ruination, and it felt so good. I mean, come on, you're smashing the whole base. And then I fat fingered and took Omega Supreme, and he doesn't do anything at all. Please just, even if you give me, even if I fat finger and take another combiner, at least let them be to a certain standard and a certain level. So I think, yeah, there will be a worse combiner, but please, when I take a combiner like Omega Supreme, at least let him do something.
I suppose that will warrant the cost then, I suppose.
Yeah, it will warrant the cost because there is times when we've probably all taking the wrong... I mean, I do it sometimes where I fat finger and take the wrong combiner, and then I get into battle and I'm like, oh no, I've not taken Ruination, I've taken Supreme, and now I'm going to lose. And I send him in battle and I'm like, yo, well, that didn't do anything.
So by that reckoning then, does that mean that Raiden will be a higher cost than Make Supreme? Because if he's the same, that's a bit of a travesty, because,
It's not going to be the same. It's probably not going to be the same. Because the
See, I think Raiden should be the same, and in one foul swoop, you should go, this is the new combiner, this is the new OP thing, this is the cost, same as Mega Supreme, but we're going to cut Mega Supreme's cost in half because of this.
I think obviously over time, we've given more resources out of... What's his price again? It's 5-star shards.
15,000, is it?
15,000. I remember the Joker 25,000. Yeah. That was a crazy one. But now what we're doing is we're giving way more. I know this is like such a cheap argument, but 5-star shards now are not 5-star shards.
No, but when you've got...
Or 3 years ago, they really are not.
But back then, you only needed 5-star shards for bots. Now you need them for every single combiner coming out. And so you need more and more 5-star shards.
You do. You do. And
I would counteract your argument of 5-star shards being more available with the argument that 5-star shards have more uses as well. So you need more. So
it's both sides. I would say that we're giving way more out, but you don't have to get everything. Like what you're saying, you've got so many uses for them. You don't have to go for everything.
Oh, let's not go down that route. You don't have to play this
Uh,
event. You don't have to get it. Come on. We're all going to get it. We're all going to get all of it. You know this. Come
yeah,
on.
but it's also like you don't want to, like it's good that you're saying to me that you got all these uses and 5-star shards. That means over time you're going to be playing so many more events because you need the 5-star
Yeah.
shards.
Yeah. It's a
If
good
it
thing
was
as well.
so it
Yeah.
You know what, if we deducted the costs and it was so easy to do everything by the end of the year, or you got them really quick, you'd get bored of the game because
Yeah.
you don't have a goal.
No,
Your
I
goal
did.
is to,
I
you
did,
know
and
what,
I'm
you're
starting to
yeah,
get a bit more invigorated because of the last 5-star batch.
exactly,
Because I've got some good bots to level. Because I've just pulled some really.
exactly.
I'm not looking at the batch going. I
It's
think the batch before that looks.
yeah,
And when I don't really want any of these bots. Really, don't need them. Apart from the combiner pieces. Pulled slug. The rest of them just sat there because I didn't need to level
yeah.
it.
It's
And
really not.
you know,
It's really not a bad thing to have goals and have things that you're going for. You don't have to have everything all at once. So I think Raiden would probably be higher cost. I'm not sure in terms of design what he's going to be doing. I know Yanis has already made it public that he's going to be like Omega Supreme, where you need to collect parts. He's already mentioned that on stream. That's not a spoiler.
oh, it's not a
But I'm
spoiler because
not.
I showed it on my stream, so it's not a spoiler.
No, I mean like the whole part system. Did you show that on your stream? I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
see that on your stream. You did.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. I need to go
And
back
I'm
and
not gonna
watch
lie, I was
what
sat
you.
there going, "Am I allowed to show this?" I was like,
Yeah,
"It's
you can
making me in
show it.
trouble
I
maybe a
mean,
bit."
I
This
mean,
no, but it was in
yeah.
playtest and got swiftly taken out.
Oh,
But
oh, did it?
someone clever got some screenshots. So
Did it? Oh, well, that's fine. I can't. Who said it in playtest? I can't even remember.
said what?
Who said it in playtest? I can't even remember.
What do you mean said what? No, you mean said it?
Oh, you said you got some screenshots in playtest.
Oh
Of
no,
someone.
I took them.
Oh, oh, right, okay.
Said someone was clever enough to take some screenshots. That was me.
Ah, yeah,
As soon as
yeah.
I saw that, I was like, "Yeah, I'm taking screenshots of that."
I mean, to be fair, when we was told we was getting a train combiner in, I'm already thinking, cool, what's this gonna do? Like, I already imagined some of the stupid. This is why I'm not a designer. Some of the
I
stupid.
thought you'd be bots and bringing out 5 trains one after another. I was like, "Oh no, like it's gonna look awful."
I mean, this is again. This
It's
is
a
why I'm
good
not a
move.
designer, because
It's a good move.
some of the stupid things that I would do is, this whole train gets spawned into battle and has one ability, and you press the middle, and it just like a snake like it's just chewing all the way around, chewing all the way around the defenses, and it's popping all the outpost bots and and
Good.
oh yeah, it'd just be crazy. Or my dream is that the train arrives, but it doesn't take away your bots. Your bots go into the train, and
Oh
they.
God, it sounds complicated.
Let's not. Oh, I just love playing with the game engine. That's not what's gonna happen, guys. Don't worry.
I just want to say a big thank you for Bijou Varghese who's become a member to ask a question, which we'll get to shortly. So thank you for becoming a
Hello.
member. And then we've got is Fabian going to the movie? Volcanicus number 1 has asked.
He is. Everybody's going.
So the whole.
Going.
All right. So not even just Transformers team. The whole team's going.
No. I think about 60-70% of the studio.
That's pretty cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. They've just booked out the whole cinema, so I'm hoping not many people go, so I can put my feet up and just enjoy the movie. Sit at the back, throw popcorn at Yanis or Hyro. That's from Wozza. That's from Penny Lancaster.
Oh, you're throwing one for
That's
everyone.
from
You better get a big
Brightside.
bucket. No, cool.
So Volcanis has said, will there be choo-choo noises? Let's get John to do some train noises, won't we?
Oh God.
That'd be epic. So yeah, it's pretty cool. All the teams going. I'm gonna see them all tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, Sunday tomorrow. I'm going to see Hyro and Yanis tomorrow. We're going to go for food, just catch up because it's been a long time because everybody works remotely, and then Monday we'll see all the teams. So yeah, this is why, because we was originally going to do this Sunday, but because they booked my travel on Sunday, it was like, oh, let's do this Saturday. So thank you for doing this on a Saturday night. It was really good.
No worries. Good. So Bijou Varghese has put last week's event of earning Blaster and Soundwave was great, but only getting 500 5-star shards felt like a penalty for new and older players
Mm.
who already have him. Um, I kind of agree. I don't. I'm not saying that give us 5,000 shards. I understand that. You're not gonna give us 5,000, but I think there needs to be middle ground somewhere. I think 500 is not enough. I think it's a
Well,
bit tight.
uh, first off, thanks for being a member. Thanks for your question. So 500. It's a weird one because it's been like that for a year.
Yeah,
Um,
but not a lot of people have had that opportunity. How many
yeah,
people
this
have
is
had the
this is
opportunity to
it.
have the
So
5-star and do the endurance event or
yeah,
legs
yeah.
event,
So
whatever?
this
So you
is
know,
yeah, this is not new. I think it's it's difficult because it's yeah, 500 is not a lot. I feel like it should give maybe a G metal and it should give some spark.
well, I think
I
I think
also
more shards because the way I sort of described it, I was talking to someone about this. I won't say who, but I was talking to someone about it, and they were sort of defending it in a way and going like, "Yeah, but," and I was like, "Yeah, but." The thing you got to think is that when you get a duplicate 4-star, you get 5-star shards, which goes towards the next level. When you get a duplicate 5-star, you don't get 6-star shards. You don't get shards
no,
towards the next level. It's going to get what you already should have got. So you should have got a new bot, but instead you're getting shards towards a new bot, which should give you a decent amount at least. You know, and go, okay, you haven't got the bot, but you're gonna get a decent amount towards a bot at least. So I think two and a
yeah,
half thousand, 2,000 is a decent amount. I
I
honestly do.
I think that's I think that's too much. Just because 5-star shards, it's so easy to get.
Yeah, but you're giving in essence 5,000 shards for a bot. You're giving someone 5,000 shards. So if I was going for batch 4, say, and you're giving
Yeah,
them Blaster and Soundwave, you're saving them 5,000 shards on that batch.
yeah,
So you're giving them
but it's very
5,000 shards. But you're giving me 500. There's a massive disparity there.
I think that's so. This is more like I don't think this is because of the dupe. Like the dupe, this is more because the player already owns Blaster and Sound. I think that is the bigger issue. Is if they already own Blaster and Soundwave, what are they getting while everybody else is effectively getting it for free?
Getting a new bot,
Um,
yeah.
we're I guess my counter argument to that is Blaster and Soundwave are really not like I know somebody's invested 5,000 shards, and by the way, anybody who bought that bot for 2 weeks leading up to the event, we transparently gave them back their shards. Um, but um, it's a tough one because Blaster and Soundwave are not really in the meta anymore, and obviously because John, that we was working with, who is Soundwave, he was very eager to work with us if he was like going to be giving away his bot because he is Soundwave. So that's why it made sense to pick Blaster and Soundwave. One, because they're not part of the meta. Two, because John is obviously Soundwave, his voice Soundwave, and how cool would it be to give away his bot for free? So it's a tough one really because you're giving a lot of new players a bot for free, which is going to make the game better. So yeah, maybe we could have done a little bit more, but the idea of giving out Blaster and Soundwave was to give it to players who are new because since the movie, the game has like tripled, quadrupled. In fact, I'm not sure if you're seeing it in your viewership, if your viewership's gone up or anything. I'm not sure if you've got data on it where you're looking at your viewership and it's just gone up. But I can tell you, like the players are going off the roof because of the movie, and that's why we kind of gave the bot away because we want to try and capture as many new players as we can, so this game can thrive for many more years.
Hmm.
I don't know. Do you see an increase in anything in a minute? I mean, you can say no if
Slightly.
you don't.
Slightly. I'd
Slightly,
say about
okay, yeah,
10%. Nothing like ridiculous. Like, I think
yeah,
when the last Bayformers movie came out, I saw a big increase for
yeah.
about 3 months. But you said you did a big marketing campaign and things like that
We
as
did,
well.
which was yeah,
Um,
because the movie's happening again, we're starting to do more marketing again. So
mm,
we normally do marketing around the movie.
yeah,
So hopefully in time it will be better for you as well.
yeah.
So yeah, we can ask for a review, but that's all. It's kind of like been like that for the past year, so it's never really been an issue. That's why it's kind of been a bit of a shock to well, Harrow's not been here. Well, no, Harrow was here at the time because it's kind of been like that for a long time, and people haven't really said anything. We was quite transparent with it back then as well, saying, well, if you buy Puffer in the shop, you're gonna get 500
I
shards.
think that obviously, like, no offense, when you look at another player, you're like, I don't really care what they get. So everyone's done the event and gone like, yeah, I'm getting what I get. But then when it comes to them, they're like, hang on, why am I not getting whatever? And I think that even I didn't
Yeah,
realize it's 500 shards. I don't honestly, I
yeah, I
can't
don't want.
remember. But
I really don't want people thinking that we don't really care about old players anymore.
no, I
Um,
don't think that. I think they just
yeah,
think
I don't.
Tyro's a bit tight. I think that's a common
Well, I don't.
perception. I think.
Well, I don't want people to think, well, you're giving all these, new players all these things and stuff. I mean, we've kind of given them. I mean, when they start the game, they can buy, I think, a 5-star bot for $19, which is not a
Yeah,
lot. But then we think, well, what have older players had over the 5 years? Well, we've kind of give a bot away every year,
yeah,
in a
I'm,
way,
I'm all for it.
and we're giving away
It's only one. If you were
non
saying
four
like,
star.
go and pick your bot for $25 each, I'd be like, whoa, hang on a
No,
minute.
yeah, yeah, but it's like a random
Yeah,
bot. I think
yeah,
it's only
exactly.
like
It's all the legacies
it's
as
a
well, so it's like,
it's like all the legacies. It's very old.
yeah,
The idea is I know there's going to be a lot of old players going, "What about me?"
yeah,
And I'll tell them now. I will say this: if we don't think about new players and
yeah,
we have this attitude of "What about me?" then sure we can if people really don't like it, we can stop doing the campaign. We can stop selling a random legacy bot to them. We can just pull away everything we're doing for new players if old players feel like this. But when the players do start to dwindle and they are
yeah.
struggling to find alliances and
And they
you
were
know,
complaining about that as well.
and now that and they'll start to complain they've got no one to play with, and then we'll probably have to do some more crazy things to keep the game running. Then you kind of ask for this, right? Because you don't want us to push for new players. You don't want us to give new players, like, we want this game. The ambition is we want this game to keep going for the next 5 to 10 years, and to do that, sadly, we have to give newer players like a bit of a push. We need to
Yeah.
not like throw them in the deep end. We're
No,
giving them HQ
I'm kind of
15.
like, let's get everyone up to Cybertron level, give them the opportunity to spend a little and get to Cybertron level as fast as possible, and then it's like, right now put the work
It's
in,
up to
now
you.
put the
Yeah,
work in to get to our
you've
level
got,
now.
yeah, but well,
You're
this
getting
is
close to our level. You don't want to make someone a top player
no,
overnight, but you want to go,
no,
listen, let's
we
get
don't.
up to that level where it's within reaching distance. I'm a big fan of the carrot. Let's get them close to the carrot, and then go,
Well,
right, now you got to go and try and reach it now.
yeah, we want to give them a push, but we don't want to make it too easy because we don't want to devalue everybody's hard work who are at that top level.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
at the same time, any new player that's coming into the game, we want them to have a good platform to be like, right, I can start to learn the game. I can play war. I can join a low family. I can start to go into their low ranks, and I've got a little bit of a team. Um, and yeah, I just don't want old players to just like. I don't want to call them selfish because they're not. They're really not. But I just don't want them to
Yeah.
think. I
But
want you to be more about me. We need to be more about everyone, but we really do need to be more about lower players as well, because those are the people who are going to try and like they're the new fresh blood that are going to try and keep pushing the game to stay alive. And the ambition is we want the game to be in the next 5-10 years.
but this is where I go back to like the legacy parts and the endurance parts being
Yeah,
of a good standard, because you want new players, because how are they going to get a good war team? By going chasing
yeah.
every single batch? It's not realistic. So
No,
ideally, they
it's
should be able
tough.
to do all the endurance and legacies this year, and from that, have a war team. So you should probably do a couple of warriors, a couple of gunners, a couple of air class bots, a healer. You should be able to do the events this year and get a war team from that and go, right, at least I can go and compete now by doing this year and spending on all the events. You got a legacy endurance. It's going to add up over the year. This, a good, thousand or
Yeah,
so dollars, over the
I
year
think it's
to level
it's
them as
it's all
well. And give them that opportunity to go and do that. But if these new bots are not that's a standard, they've got to go and chase every single batch going,
it's
But
also very hard to just get a bot right. Like it really is hard to get a bot right. Like I can talk from this from experience now because I've done legacy. It's hard to just release a bot and it just be a war bot. Like it's hard. Like even if you have the right design, what could be a war bot, it might not be.
I don't think it is though. I think a prime
It
example is
really.
this recent bot. It's very much like Rook, but not an improvement on Rook, and it should be. It should automatically be better than Rook. No, no, there's no questioning that.
Well,
There's no
but
like,
this
oh,
but
maybe you
this is
should have,
it.
shouldn't. It needs to
But
be, because why bother then?
well, this is it, right? If we had the model of a flexibility system where we say, okay, in the first, if we literally made a guarantee, and we would never ever agree to this because the players wouldn't like it. But for me, again, on the experience that I've done for Legacy, as a designer, I would love it if I could release content and I go, okay, in the next 4 weeks, I'm either going to nerf it or I'm going to buff it, and there's my window.
Yeah, yeah.
I would love the flexibility because then I would love to just release content and go, right, I'm going to push it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I want to see it in a live environment. I want it to, because in playtest you don't see it in a high war, and people say, well, you should be doing wars and stuff on it. No, it's too small data subset. The data's too small to see. Like, I'm going to judge this bot in what, 8 wars? No, I can't do that. I need to see you playing them clutch battles with Horde in that top area, and just seeing from that small subset of, people just playing in a real environment. I want to see how it performs in a middle environment and a low environment, in Prime League hard mode and Cybertron hard mode. I want to see it. And we just don't have that flexibility. It's almost like we're not guessing in a way. We're almost just trying to be maybe cautious in a way where we're not breaking the game and it's not devaluing all content in the game. But if we had that flexibility window, would be great because we could just say,
Well, I would. Okay. Well, I would.
Let's just keep it like this, and then if it needs a buff, we'll buff it, and if it needs a nerf, we'll nerf it. But
Let me counter that. What was the last bot that broke the game?
Beachcomber.
Not broken the game, has it?
Well,
very difficult. Not broken the game.
He's not broken the game, but he's a very strong bot. But yeah, I think that again, we're acting because we're quite cautious, and I feel like if we had that window where we could buff and nerf.
Yeah, but it's all about supply and demand. You've created demand all of a sudden. You brought out the supply of Beachcomber. Now you've created demand for something to counter that, and so you're creating revenue for yourself by creating bots like this.
Well, for example, this new bot that we've just released. Yes, you've got the opinion that it could have a bit more, but if we had that flexibility where we could just buff it.
But you have right now.
Then we could.
A week ago.
Yeah, but we didn't see it in live, did we? Like,
when everyone in the playtest is saying this things are better. I always say, if you go into playtest and everyone is of the opinion going, this is great, then you're there or thereabouts. It might be slightly too good, but you're there or thereabouts. If you've got everyone in playtest or even half playtest going, this is not good enough, you've not hit it.
The thing is, you never really know, because I watched your stream on Nosecone and you said, this legacy rework won't do anything, and then you check the tournament and you're like, Jesus, what's going on here? And you say to me that Drift is not a war bot, but in the tournament as well, he was some strategy there where people were using, they were quite cheesy with it. So, we sometimes think we know something will be really good, or we think we might think something's really bad, but the essence is we don't really know until people play with it on live, because there's so much what could happen. Because there's so many people who go, actually, I see a use here, and then, straight away, everyone's like, actually, I want to do it this way too, and then they start to play that way, and then there you go, you've got a broken bot because people have found a use of it. So I would like that flexibility where I could go, actually, I'm going to buff it or I'm going to nerf it, because then I think we'd get it. Because then I think we would get it right every time, because then we would see it by data. It's doing well or it's doing bad, and people would hate it because they go, well, and it's hard for this kind of game because people kind of put up money if they're going to run or something. They put money on the line, they use a lot of investment, so it really makes that flexibility very difficult. But I would love it if we could do something like that, where we could just say, look, we've released it.
Balance
we know what the playtesters are saying, but we're still going to release it. We want to see how it performs. And if we can buff it, let's buff it. If we're gonna nerf it, let's nerf it. I think I would love it if we could do more of that, because it's not just about nerfing content. It really isn't. It's really not about always nerfing content. We don't, honestly. People say you nerf things all the time. I would honestly counter argument and say we don't. We really don't nerf content all the time. There's quite a lot of content. We're very transparent as well. People are always like, you're always lying to us. If we were lying to you, if we ever made a change of Beachcomber, we just wouldn't put it in the newsletter. If it's ever going to change Ruination, we just wouldn't put it in the newsletter, right? Like it would just save us a headache. If we was ever going to change anything, just don't put it in the newsletter.
Yeah.
But we do. Everything we change goes into the newsletter, because there's no point lying to you. We want to be transparent. So Yeah, I'd love a window where we can say, yeah, this sucks, let's just up the values. But by that point, people go, well, if you'd have done this when we released it, I would have run.
Mm.
And then if you nerf it because it's too strong, people would go, well, if you'd have did this on the event, I
Wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have run
run.
at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard, and this is why I don't envy the designers. People don't realize how hard their job is. You can't just drop a bot into the game and it be perfect. It's just not possible. It's really just not possible.
Hmm.
It's a hard one, and I don't think people see those angles of it. Right? There's just like you need to see it in a war. You need to see it in a war. You need to see how people play with it, how people act with it, what people people take weeks and weeks to find a strategy on how to make something work. It would be funny if 4 months from now people found a strategy on how this. I'm not saying they will, but maybe they do. But it
When,
would be good to have that
maybe when it's fixed.
flexibility.
That's
It'd
the
be good
issue.
to see
But
yeah.
it's hard with this
We need
bot
to
because
get
I don't think it's doing what it
we
should be
need
doing. That's the big issue. Not that it's
yeah
bad, but it's that right now we don't know. That's
yeah
the
we
important
can
issue.
like I said, people. The thing also I don't like is people spend a lot of money on this kind of stuff and then it's like this. If it
Hmm.
I haven't seen the playtester chat, so I don't know what's been said. But if there is bugs, it's got to be a priority. People can't be spending money on a product and there's things wrong with it. So
Yeah.
we'll get that fixed. That's not a problem. But yeah, it's difficult. It's like we're just talking about. It's difficult, right? Because it's hard to get something right. And I know from doing Legacy, right? If we could just operate that way, then it would just make Legacy even better because we could just drop a product and have that balance change. It's almost like we could just. I mean, with Legacy, you could technically do it because you could do, you can always push the 4-star first.
Yeah.
People don't really invest in the 4-star just to see, but then again, people don't really use 4 stars in war, so it's
Yeah.
again, it's even hard from that point of view
True.
as well. So it's just difficult. It's difficult. I don't envy the designers. They've got a hard job. They really do have a hard job.
Bijou Varghese has put. Oh, he's put. Let us upgrade our weaker ones like we do cores. That's not a bad idea, you
Sorry,
know, with the
what's
battle
that? Sorry.
boosts. So convert
Uh,
them MK3s into fours, like having 10 MK3s equals 1-4.
I don't even know if the power core converter even does that. I'll ask.
It could if it could. That'd be a
think,
pretty decent
yeah, I
idea, I'd
think
say.
it's
It
only.
solves both issues of people having too many MK3s and the availability of MK4s
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, it's a good idea to be honest. But I don't know how the power core converter. I think it's strictly for power cores, but I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah, good idea then.
Cool, good idea.
Penny Lancaster, it's a good point. This so it says, why do we stop getting 185-star shards when you get new 5-star bots? What's the point? So for every 5-star bot you get 180 bots in achievement. But once you get to a certain amount, it stops.
I think Hyro's going to be adding them after every 10 or something. I'm not sure. I think once you get to a certain point,
It
you
might be
get.
like 60 or 70. So once you get 75 stars, you don't get 180 shards anymore. It's a bit strange.
Yeah, I think
I think when he did that, he thought, all right, no one's going to get to 75 stars. And now everyone is, so it's
Well,
kind of a
yeah,
point.
I think he's adding them once you get to 75, it goes 85, 95, 105, and then it starts to scale out. So
Yeah.
it starts to get a little bit harder, so that's why. Cool. Blade 19 saying set up a wall between the playtesters and one of the top alliances when you are testing. It's always hard to do that because it's only four. It's because we haven't got that many testers. It's basically 8v8, and then you're always having to re-import players'
Yeah.
playtest accounts.
It is difficult.
And you don't like your. And we've got some people. I'm not saying you, but we've got some people who don't like their playtest account being updated to their live account because it confuses them. They go, "I've just played and I forgot
It's
that I'm
not
on the
that,
test
but
server."
for me, like I upgrade bots to do videos with, so
Well,
I've
there
got a
you
magnitude
yeah,
of bots I don't have on live leveled. So when you
yeah.
start copying my
It's
base, I'm
hard.
like, so it is hard. I will give you that. I will,
It's
yeah.
difficult, and then we can't keep giving you recovery codes every time you need to swap accounts because then it would be. Well, it's impossible to keep doing that, to be honest. So. It's difficult, and then we've actually got a lot of content on the playtest server, which is not on live. But we've got a lot of power cores that we've unreleased. People are using, because they were previously testing. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
You've got Vic Ching and Track saying, "Take it easy on Dale, don't be too harsh." No, no, listen,
I don't
I'm just
mind.
asking the
I
awkward
don't.
questions. Like, listen, we're not
No,
falling out. No one's like
no,
gonna come for this interview and go like, "Oh, you're a bit of
I'm
a."
not doing that.
I
Well,
actually
to
put these
be
questions out,
fair,
and Dale was like, "You've got easy on me." I was like, "Have I?"
yeah,
But
I actually look at the questions and I thought, actually, he's gonna. I actually quite enjoy the hard questions, if I'm
But this is what I
honest.
talk about playtest. Like, there's nothing wrong with going like, I don't agree with that, and we've moved on. We've not gone back, got like look back, going like, I can't believe I said that. You have a discussion, you talk about it, and you come to an agreement, or you don't, and then you just move on. Done with.
Yeah,
Simple.
yeah, I much prefer hard questions. Like, if we, this is why I always say to you, put some hard ones in.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I do say that this to Wozza. I'm always like, do put some, because I think it's actually quite boring for me to sit here and you just give me all the easy ones. Sorry to say
yeah.
that. Like, it is genuinely quite boring to talk about things people don't want to hear about. People want to hear about Dino
Everyone loves a
Gate
bit
if
of
we've had
drama.
one. Everybody wants to talk about the spicy stuff, and me included. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to put some things to bed as well. You know.
It is. It is. It is. It is. It's also good to hear it from our side because people don't hear it from our side enough, right? People always hear it from one side, or there's always rumors or something going around. Like, this is just how it is. So
Hmm.
yeah, and maybe I'm too open sometimes. So I'm totally telling you how it is.
Bijou Vaggers put, can we get help with alloy? Players with maxed out bases and maxed out ally donations have nothing to do. Nothing to do it. It means a use for ally, maybe. I don't know. I think that's cleared up,
Yeah,
maybe. I
maybe
think.
clarify. Yeah, clarify that one.
And Vic Ching's put, let's talk about what it's like to have a brother working for SA.
Yeah. Callum.
Yes.
Callum. Callum
It
is
was a
great.
bit eerie how much they were similar though. Honestly, it was quite funny.
Well, he's a Leicester fan. We're definitely not alike on that one. So yeah, Callum's been great since he's joined Space 8. To be honest, I would say I'm the happy one.
Yeah, Vic Ching's
Uh,
put, he always looks grumpy.
does he? He always looks
He's
for
not
me. But
though.
yeah,
I've talked to him like. That's another
he's
example.
definitely.
Listen, I fell out with Callum at one point in the chat as well. I didn't like something he said, and then literally like hit him up in Discord. I think a few couple hours later, saying, "Listen, like, don't take it personal. Like, I don't agree with what you said." And he was like, "No, sound, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it." Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's never personal. When you work in our kind of job, it's like people wouldn't think it, but it is actually quite draining. But you never take things personally.
Yeah,
So Callum's exactly the same. So thank God. Again, I talk about this different perspective. It's good to have Callum because he's also challenging all the things that we're doing now, and the things that I've been fighting for many months. He comes in and sees exactly the same, which is very good.
yeah. I feel
And
sorry
then
for new people sometimes when they come into it because it can be deemed as
well,
quite toxic in a way. But I think it's just frustration for over time, where it's the constant.
yeah,
Like I've said, it's the same. It's the same things. I don't get frustrated at bugs. I actually defend you guys sometimes. I'm like, listen, bugs will happen. Then give them some time. Let them get them sorted. It's the repeat things that gets me frustrated. It's the same thing over and over again. I'm like,
yeah.
surely you've looked and gone. We need to change the process, and and
Well, I always say to Callum, I mean, we're just the waitresses. At
mm,
the end of the day, we are serving up whatever's coming from the kitchen. Uh,
and you
you
get the
know,
stick. Yeah, yeah. That hit home's quite well. Yeah, that hits
you
home.
know,
Yeah, I've got mad at
like,
my kitchen staff plenty of times, going like,
yeah,
"You go and talk to him. You go and tell him that.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
recooking
yeah,
that. You go and tell me not recooking it. Oh, I'll recook it. Right? Okay. Yeah.
yeah. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
you know what we're talking about. So God knows what they're serving up in the kitchen now and again, but we still have to deliver it. And
That's a good
so,
analogy. I like that analogy. That's good.
so
That's
this is
true.
what I'm telling Callum. But it is a great platform to learn this game. Like, I've learned a ton from this game. And it's been, yeah, I mean, I'm doing so many things at the minute in this game. It's absolutely crazy what I'm learning. Some of the stuff I probably won't ever do again, like the game design stuff. I'll never be a game designer. No intention of being one. Just doing it because players just want to see fresh things.
Never say never.
Well, no, I am saying it. I'm definitely saying it because it's just not for me, really. Not kind of my thing. I only do it with this game because I quite enjoy it. Like, it's quite fun making, fresh things. And I also kind of got frustrated myself about the amount of bug fixes coming into the game. So that's also why I kind of learned the engine, because I was just, I was talking about it earlier. When you're passing it off to somebody and you're saying, "Can you fix this?" Well, why can't I fix it? Why can't I do it? Why do I have to wait for somebody else to do it? So, yeah, I like the role that I'm playing in this game, and that's, I can see the frustration, but I can also try and fix the frustration as well. For example, there's been multiple times where I've asked a player, just give me a list of bugs, just give me a list, and let me fix them. And I need to keep doing that. Just give me a list of things that people are annoyed about, so I can go fix them. And I like playing that role because I'm just full pipeline, right? It's just going to the players, fixing it, going to the players, fixing it. So yeah, I like that role. It's a very unique role. It's, don't make any mistakes. Like, this is a very unique role that SpaceSafe have kind of given me, because in most companies there's like a pipeline and things, and other people do it, and you're waiting for weeks and stuff. So it's very different to how other people operate, and I like it. It's very good.
And then just to clear up, so BG Vaggies
Clear
has
up.
put
Sure.
the alloy, wants more uses for alloy. But I would ask if he's got defense prime cores, because once you get them, you need a lot of alloy. So I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know. I've never thought I've got a massive like excess of alloy. Really, though. I don't know. Yeah, just put like after you max out your base and donations, alloy 50 million. Like maxed out all the time. So don't know. He wants another use for ally, maybe. Wants to look at.
Cool.
And while we're talking about the team, this leads on. It's quite funny this that every time we discuss these things, it leads on to the next topic. And
Flows really well, doesn't it?
yeah, it's flowing
really well.
And obviously it's about we've had a few people come, a few people go. So we've had Maro come, go, and we have not go, but move.
I mean, I was kind of joking about this, that maybe I'm the toxic one.
What?
Maybe I'm like maybe I'm the toxic one in the SpaceX team. I scared off Days, then I scared off Meryl,
Vivek,
scared off Astra,
George. What happened to George? Where did George go?
So, okay, well, let's go through your question, and then we can, we can maybe talk about them more a little bit closely.
Yeah, it's just obviously
Okay, what do you want to know?
It's just like so we sort of see people come in and
Yeah.
go. So is it a recruitment problem? Have they gone on to different games? Have they left the company? So
no, actually, SpaceX is a very, and I'm not just saying this, I'm probably the most distant person away from SpaceX because I'm actually a remote worker, so I don't really have that affinity to SpaceX as many people do. They're probably watching this and maybe disappointed when we say that. I mean, I'm a remote worker, right? It's very difficult when you're not going into the office every day to really I really love the company. It's weird because I work at home and I don't go into the office.
You feel detached a bit.
Yeah, I feel a little bit, a little bit detached.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because the company's done so much for me despite feeling that way, which is quite amazing.
So just a second to clear up. So are a lot of people still in the office then?
So some people go into the office and some people don't. It's mostly hybrid, but for me, I'm just fully remote.
Okay.
And this is the amazing thing about SpaceX. So before I joined SpaceX, I had a company that was like, you were there for like maybe a month and then you'd leave. But at SpaceX, it's like you've been here for 4 years and you're like still one of the new people because people have been here for like double that, and every week we're having an announcement of, maybe not every week, maybe every like few months now, of people having a tenure of 10-15 years, well 10 years, and you're like, wow, like I'm just getting to, because after 5 years you get a statue, after 10 years you get like some gong thing, which is amazing. So yeah, it's because how
next year I've been Michael for 25 years. What'd you get for that?
I've got nobody's got there, but I think it's quite incredible. Yeah, like
sounds bizarre,
things that you hit. So I can't wait to get my statue next year for being here for 5 years. But that's just amazing, right? That people here are staying that long. I could never imagine staying at a company for 10 years, but this company actually makes me. And I'm not doing all the corporate spiel. I said I don't like doing this. I don't like coming on stream and you go, he's just got, he's got to speak good about his company. He works for them. But genuinely, I mean, I'm the most detached from it. It's pretty amazing to see people here for that long. And I'm not even here that long, but seeing people here for 10 years is quite amazing. I mean, you could go on Glassdoor. People review the company all the time, right? It's not, they put their opinions in of what they really think. I think it's in like pretty high. I think it's got like 99% approval or something. So the company's doing something right. But in terms of like what's the turnover like on our game? Quite simply, people may go to other projects within the company. Everybody who has worked on this game in the past 5 years, who the players have met, have just simply quite moved to other projects within Space 8. They haven't left the studio. Like George still in the studio, Vivek still in the studio, Meryl still in the studio, Daisy still in the studio, Astra still in the studio. It's not like they've been.
Why is this? Why do they all get moved on so quick? Like,
So
it's not only been in the game for like 3 or 4 years, like yourself, and get moved on. It's like a quick turn of like 6 to 9 months moved on.
So let's talk about it then. So we had George, and George was very new to Transformers. So I think it wasn't really. I can't really speak for George, but obviously he wasn't here for very long. Maybe he didn't really like the game design side of it because it's a demanding role. Like there's no so in Space 8 we've got Beatstar, we've got Country Star, we've got Crane Valley Customs. If you're a game designer, you either work on Transformers and then working on Beatstar is very different. It's a very different kind of style of game. So sometimes a game designer might come to here and go, you know what, this game is just draining. But for a game designer, it's very different. Maybe I feel best suited on a game that is more away from the players and quite like different. Like for Beatstar, their designers are quite in the background and they're just doing beat maps and things for the songs. Or Crane Valley, you're doing levels for the game, match 3. You don't really need to be in a player-facing role. So sometimes people get a bit of a shock when they join Transformers and you're put straight to the community and you're like, oh, maybe I want to work on maybe I don't really want to do that kind of game design position. It's not really what I want to do. So, they also think that. So then maybe George felt that way, which he's doing amazing on the other games anyway. Who did we have after that? So let's talk about it. Who did we have after that?
Design-wise, Vivek was next then?
So Vivek only joined us to fill in just a temporary period. So Vivek is still in Space 8, but because we was going through a long recruiting phase, so obviously because Fabian went, it took us ages to find somebody. So Trax has also mentioned Adam. So Adam and Vivek was also just filling in temporary, just to like train up our new designers that was coming on board. So we had obviously Jesse who joined us, and we've just had Sam. But the whole recruitment process for design, we thought we got to a place where we had it, and we didn't, because obviously people may have thought that, other games were suited for them. They're still in Space 8, so that's where the turnover come from them. But in terms of now, I mean, we've got Jesse, Sam, and touch wood, I think we'll keep them now. That's our team that we're going to have for the next year or so. Sam, even when we spoke to Sam, we tried to learn from some of the events that's happened in the past. This is the game which is, community facing. You're going to have to speak to the community. You're going to have to be on the community. You're going to have to be on Twitch and things. And you have to talk about them. We really didn't write paper the role. We wanted to know. We wanted to give people the heads up. This is what you're getting into, and you need to listen to them. So maybe we didn't do that well enough with people who joined the team in the past. So we can talk more about the community side. So that is the game design side. Is there's just too many diverse games at Space 8. Sorry that this one is very different to all the other ones. Some of the game designers who talk about game design on the Transformers, all the other game designers in the company are like, wow, really? You have to deal with a lot of that? It's very different. In terms of community, what's the turnover like community? So we had Daisy, didn't we?
Yeah.
So rightly so, Daisy went to Beatstar because they needed somebody, and she's doing a great job over there. And honestly, I think Daisy is probably more suited to Beatstar. She loves music. She loves Transformers too, and she loves the community, but she was like massive music fan.
Mm.
And when they're looking for somebody who's a music fan, it just makes sense to pick Daisy. So they took Daisy, and I'm like, okay, on my own now. So who did I get after that? I mean, you might know this more than me. I mean, it's it's all just like a blur.
Was it
Everything's
Astra
happened
next, I
fast.
think? Or Astra before
So
Daisy? I can't remember which way around.
Astra's always here in the background, always helping Transformers. So I really don't want to count Astra as somebody that we've lost. Like if I message Astra to fill in for a week, she's here, so she's great. So I don't really want to count Astra as somebody we've lost because Astra's still actually doing work for us right now.
But what's she
Who
working on
else?
primarily, though? Now, Astra.
She's doing social media, so she's doing socials
Okay.
across all of our games. So yeah, she's always about, always there, which is great. For my backstory in social media, I'm not really bothered about it. I'd rather just I'm not. Yeah, I mean, for me, if somebody else can do it, great. I would rather just speak to the players on Discord or do some tickets or do something like do some game design. So I don't want to spend time writing a post on Facebook. Sorry, don't really don't really want to do that. I'm not good at it anyway, so I'd let somebody else who's much better than me do it. After that, we had Meryl. Meryl came in. And she wasn't very long either, and that's because so Meryl wanted to do a massive marketing campaign for Transformers Air Force, and it just happened to be that we needed somebody in marketing at this exact time, and Meryl had this massive plan she really wanted to grow the game, wants to get us on the Google Play Store, had this massive plan, and it was just like, this is going to take you a lot of time, and you're a community manager. Do you want to just maybe move to marketing and actually fully invest on this? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's move Meryl to marketing. Sadly, I'm now down again. But what Meryl will do in marketing is she will be able to spend more time on just building this whole marketing idea of pushing the game, growing the game, getting it on the Play Store. So already you're starting to think, actually, this high turnover, you may think it's high turnover, but it's actually in a way we're giving people different opportunities because they're obviously suited in better areas, and we don't want to tie people down to our game, right? If they think they're suited better elsewhere, we're not going to hold them hostage. We're not going to say, hey, no, you're going to stay here. So they clearly had better opportunities, which was also like Daisy obviously wasn't going to help us, but moving Meryl was definitely going to help us because it was an ambition to grow the game for us. And that's what, again, I talk about our ambition for the game. Our ambition for the game is to make sure it's here for the next 5 to 10 years. And moving Meryl was part of that ambition, because she was going to be able to grow it in many ways that I definitely can't do that. I'm not good at marketing, so I've already said that. So, yeah, that's why Meryl went. Did I miss anybody?
I think that's everyone. I mean, from the
Yeah,
from
and
the
then we
outside looking in, I mean, for me, it just seems like you get someone in, you go, "Oh, they're pretty good. Let's give them a project we care more about." That's honestly what it seemed about. Like Transformers Earth Wars was like the sort of project that Space Ape don't really care about. The bigger projects, let's put them into that because we want to push that more. And Earth Wars just sort of like,
I think so,
what's the
yeah, I think
phrase? Sort of like going through the motions.
yeah, it's easy to see why you could think that, but I will tell you now that Space Ape, I think with it being an IP, Transformers, Space Ape love it. Space Ape absolutely love this game, and that's why they kind of was like to Yanis, how can we help you more? Like, how can we help you more in making sure the game is part of that ambition of making sure the game is here in the future? So, for example, we've hired a server tech because we couldn't really build features that involved changing the server and things, and we got supported by actually having somebody who could server tech. We had an investment in support staff because we need to answer our tickets faster. So we've also got an extra game designer who is obviously Sam. So we've also bolts upon this. So we used to always commonly have one designer. We've got two. We've just got Chris from Rival Kingdoms, who's moved over. So that, again, that's another person part of the Transformers team. So what you're seeing is like a high turnover, but what you're actually knowing in the background is we've hired a server tech, we've got an extra game designer. I know it doesn't look it from the outside, I get it, but in the last 3 months we've had extra game designer, extra server tech, we've got a bigger support team now, and there's one person, we've actually got a person who's helping Hiro now. So we've actually like bolstered like maybe 5 or 6 bodies on this team this year to obviously keep that ambition. Obviously, I've not even counted Callum, so we've got an extra community manager. Obviously, we've
Yeah, I was
always
going to
had
say, you've
a
obviously had
community
Sam
manager.
come in, Callum come in,
Yeah,
and Jesse
so
come in. So
yeah, so it's all numbers. So yeah, I can understand why you see it as like, oh my god, SpaceX hate this game, but it's quite the opposite. They had Yanis and said, look, what do you need? What do you need? Tell us what you need, and we'll give you everything you need to succeed. So yeah, I can only say that is what they're doing. Obviously, I work on the game, and if they ever felt that way, I'm definitely not going to be happy. And I'll be fighting for the game. I can tell you that much to our CEOs. But the CEOs genuinely care about the game. I mean, they're always asking about the players. I always thought when you worked in games, you never speak to the CEO, but they sit in our meetings.
yeah, I actually
They
spoke to
ask about.
Max when I was
Yeah, yeah,
well, not
yeah.
Max,
I
not
mean, Matt.
CEO, is he? But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, well, the CEOs definitely care about the game and our mental health and things like that. But Max, I mean, we have a call every week and he talks about the game, so we're always talking about Transformers Air Force. So I'll tell you now, there's a lot of people around this company that definitely care, and it's also one of SpaceX's second launches as well. Like, this isn't a game that they want to go down the pan very easily, and they will fight for this game. And thankfully, we're not even close to that point. But we've got that resources to build on the success we've got now, which is amazing, to be honest. Obviously, I always say this, that um, if 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 we had, with the team growing now, if you said, can we have 4 more people, the answer is yes. We'll always
yeah,
want more people. We'll always want more people. But I'll tell you now, in the last year, we have grown in people, and you can see it. I'm not just lying to you. You can see the people. We've got Cubies on Discord. Go message him. Go say hey. We've got Sam. Go say hey. We've got Callum. Go say hey. The support staff, you probably see a different few names on the email footers now and again. They're all different people. Don't worry. We're not making them up. So yeah, those people are out there. You can see them. They're good. They're nice people, and it's with a game in mind. Because Hyro kind of needed help as well, which is good. He needed help on building events and taking some other things, because Hyro's got cool projects he wants to do as well. Doesn't want to just keep making leaderboards. he wants to do
can't
some
be that
fun
hard. Just
stuff.
going more expensive, more expensive, more expensive. Pressing that button, can it?
Oh, Hyro.
You get so much
Honestly,
stick.
he gets so much stick. He genuinely does care about it. It's a horrible job to do. It is a horrible job to do. Somebody says, sadly, all games do need to make money. That is the be all and end all. Any game that loses money will be shut down. I'm not saying I don't want people to think that we're shutting down, or
Yeah,
or
yeah,
I'm
but
starting rumors that we're starting, that we're shutting down. I'm just saying that if League of Legends tomorrow started losing money, they would go, well, we have to shut League of Legends down because we're not making any money anymore. That's the example I'm trying to make.
yeah,
So yeah, he's got a hard job. He has to balance the economy in the way where, and this is why I'd be bad at live books, is you have to start being very, very low. Like, if, for example, like 5-star shards, he just has to be really tight with it.
it's not
Because
that for me.
because the thing is, if you give too much, you can't recover. If in a game economy, if you give too much of something out, you cannot recover unless you go, oh, okay, I'm gonna make a new currency because I messed that one up. All right, yeah, okay, that's a bit of a cheating way to get out of it. I'll be honest, that's a bit of a cheating way, but it is a way around it. Like, if you ever break the economy, you just make a new currency, and then you just
Yeah,
start building around that one. But if you start low, you can start ramping up slowly. Like, oh, did I break anything? What's the data saying? Okay, I can bring a bit more in, and a bit more. And I think that's the way Hyro sees it. Is he starts to be like, he does not the minimum, but he goes below, way below the minimum. But he's almost like active cautiousness, because if he gets it wrong, then we just have to design new currencies, and it's going to get out of hand. The game's going to have like 400 currencies. I mean, I logged on to another mobile game the other day, and I was speaking to their community manager, and they were saying, look, our live ops team really messed this up. We have to make six new currencies for this because they couldn't get it right. They really got it wrong. Like, I can't tell you the name, but you wouldn't believe that our live ops team seriously do a good job. I know you're sat there going, yeah, but they've got such a meme in the community. I get it, I see it. But Hyro loves the game. He really does. If I tell you what, if this game went anywhere, he would be so distraught about it. He'd be gutted. Seriously, he'd be the first person who'd be gutted about it. Even when we're talking like different projects we're doing, he's well up for it. He loves it.
Mm.
I know you see a different side. You see a different side, but I tell you now, I see the side of Hyro who loves this game.
No, I always say this for a minute. I don't think anyone doesn't care about the game or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you guys do anything intentional for the bad of the game. I don't think that for 1 minute. I think the key word for me in every problem you have is foresight, planning. Like you said about like the combiner bundles, the dialogue bundles just popping up. Like for me, like so, I just think like in my job, I think like marketing opportunities of tying things together and things like that. And like so, if you've got a new combiner coming out that everyone's going to chase, then why not bring a bundle out for um oh god Ruination?
Yeah,
Because you're like
just
that ties in. Because so this is the new content, but now you can get the old content because now
yeah.
that's available. Because don't see Ruination bundles, and I get that because it's the most OP thing in the game, everyone wants it. But once Raiden gets to that point, which you hope it would, because it's new content, you can go, oh right, well now here's opportunity. And like I don't understand as well bringing out really good bundles on Endurance Weekend. Like everyone's gonna be spending on sales. Like I'm not gonna buy on sales and buy bundles. But if you bring a good bundle out on a 10k event, I might buy a bundle that week because I'm not spending that week to do a 10k event. And that for me is just a bit of common sense. But I
Yeah,
don't get why like you go, oh crap bundle, crap bundle. Endurance week, all the biggest bundles, let's throw everything at it for 1 week. Next week, crap bundle. And you're like, well, surely there's got to be some like think about like people's spending patterns. If people spend $100 on an endurance event, they're probably or $50 whatever. They're not going to spend another $80, $50 on a
I
bundle as
know. Yeah,
well. You know what I mean? Because they're buying fuel cells already. So you want them to even out that spending a bit. And like you said, like do a combiner event and then bring out a Dynagate bundle to link in with it. It's like a combiner weekend. And this is the things like I just don't get like some of the thought process sometimes behind some of the decisions.
yeah,
And like it just seems like you go, oh, let's just do that. And just throw it out. And I don't want to. I really don't understand how you can't plan. Like I'm literally planning now for Christmas, and once Christmas comes, I'm planning for next May, which is my big event near the pub. So I'm doing my rotas now for Christmas. My rotas, like
yeah,
what people working because I want to get it sorted in place. And then I think about Christmas, beginning December, and it's in place. I'm not. I don't order my beer on Christmas Eve. Do you know what I mean? Like I order it middle of
yeah,
December, get it stocked in because you know what? I don't want to. I know it's a bit of a different analogy, but I don't want to order it in and something's not available and I've not got it. I go, you know what? If it doesn't come in, I've got another 2 weeks to get it in. I'm not leaving it like last minute. I'm planning in advance, and I think I'm just running a pub or a bar, and like
mm,
the planning for that is a lot simpler than yours. So then surely your planning must be like off the charts, like in advance, like bang, 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 bang. This is what we're doing for the next 3 months. And I don't understand how you
yeah.
can't even get a bundle and go this week. This bundle's coming this week, and you're like, what?
Um,
Was that on
I've got.
Thursday? Two
I
days
think I
beforehand.
mentioned it earlier. Yeah, we do need to get better with our advertisement of bundles. We'll definitely look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't.
because we
And
need to.
here's a quick one as well. I don't understand why you don't go. Think of a bot.
Drift.
Night beat. No, night beat. Not in the game.
Okay.
December night beat is coming to the game, and that makes people go, oh, I want to stay with this game because I can't wait for night beat. But you
I
go,
think.
it's coming out this month.
Yeah,
Like, why not do an advance like this? And in 2 months' time, Night Beat is coming to Earth Wars. Do like a bit of a project behind it. Do your own sort of YouTube thing or something, and advertise it a bit and get people a bit, excited for it. And then I know people that listen every week will be like, "When's Night Beat coming? When's Night Beat coming?" But you can go December. We've already said,
yeah. I
you
think it
know.
is that, but also bots been changed as well. So licensing and stuff and things like that, and models and.
But surely
Uh,
you've got the outlay of the next 6 to 9 months of what bots are coming out.
oh, we've got the outlet. We speak to Hasbro.
Yeah, you might not have like what I mean, the abilities and things like that. I get all that, but you
Yeah,
surely have the bot.
it's more licensing, but I would like to just announce the bot, like you said, 8 weeks before it's actually coming, with a model, which would be super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
So that's something we're definitely looking at.
yeah.
I just noticed
Um,
your background as well, which is super cool. Sorry.
I chose that on purpose. See, I followed the game more than you. See.
Yeah.
um, and I think the next thing is you touched on it earlier about other obviously other
Yeah.
creators, things like that, other games. And you obviously said you went to a big meeting over in, was it Amsterdam or Holland? You went to, was it?
Cologne, Gamescom.
Oh, was it France? Was it? All right, yeah, that's
No,
it.
no, no, Cologne, Germany, not France.
Cologne.
Cologne, yeah. That's where England played in the Euros.
In
Yeah, I went
Cologne
to
in France. So I
Gamescom.
got that. I like.
No, Germany. What would you like to know?
No, just like obviously, how did it go? Did you meet with Supercell over there? I think you said,
Uh, I didn't meet
or is that
Supercell
two meetings
at
I'm getting mixed
the.
up with? I know you made a meeting with
Yeah,
Supercell, didn't you, as well?
yeah. There was Gamescom where we just met basically everybody.
When you're on holiday.
Um, well, I wasn't on a holiday. I mean, to be fair,
That's trying to trigger you.
you know what? I'll be honest with you. I did actually book a holiday for that whole week, and then the Monday we got there, I was just like, because so okay, so I said to Max, I was like, I'm just gonna book a holiday. I'm gonna go on because I really like going to, because the Gamescom is just not all. It's just bigger. That it's just crazy. If you love games, you have to go. You really have to go. Like I'm telling you now, like you have to take your kids and go. It's brilliant. Like they would love it. It's the best thing I've ever seen. It's chaos, but it's great. It's well
Oh, I
worth the
don't know. It's
price.
not FIFA or Fortnite. I don't think it'd be even bothered.
No, no, they are all there. Gamescom, they're all there at Gamescom. They're all there.
What, even like
And
EA and big ones like that, yeah.
everybody. No,
Oh, right.
okay. So we're talking. So Gamescom is the biggest gaming event in the world. It happens every year, and now think about we're talking about a football soccer pitch now. The size of that, we're talking maybe 15 of those full of games.
Wow.
And people rent out the booth. So you've got Assassin's Creed, you've got the whole FIFA booth had about maybe 100 PCs there, and everybody was just because they were playing FIFA 25, and this was in June, so FIFA had not even been released. You queue up, you go in, you get maybe some merchant things. You've got Marvel Rivals, what was there? Just every game you can imagine. Farming Simulator just had a tractor packed up, with a bunch of PCs. Like I'm not kidding. It wasn't like they had everything. And I basically said, you know what, I'm just gonna go for personal because if I go under work, I have to do work. And I quite like the power of going, I'm bored now, I want to leave.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's under work, if I'm bored, I have to sit there and I just have to soak it up. Whereas if I'm not, I can go, right, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going back to the hotel.
And you left Callum to it.
Leave Callum to it. But so yeah, I said I booked the week off, and then on the Monday I just met with all these guys. We just talking Transformers all day. Tuesday was basically the same, to the point where this week that I booked off was just becoming just like a whole work topic. I actually bumped into some like people who actually played the game, funnily enough, who actually knew about the game. Yeah, and on the Wednesday we were just talking about. So it just became a whole trip. It wasn't a trip anymore of a holiday. It was just like I came back and was like, I'm drained. I've done 30,000 steps every single day, and I'm just drained talking about these games. Talking about games every day. So kind of got the whole week back, but it was crazy. Gamescom is absolutely amazing. If you're a gamer, you have to go to Gamescom. There's no word about it. I'm already booking Gamescom for next year because I loved it that much. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I would just say it was just too many people there.
Yeah.
If you could just, the kids would love it because you can, if you've got all these like, you've got 2 rooms where people, maybe you should watch a video, Gamescom Germany, booths and stuff. Just have a look at some videos. It's brilliant.
I went through it with Jake, and I started reading out the games. There's like 2 games there that I like the sound of. I was like, oh, no point.
No. Gamescom has every game. I saw Riot Games, EA, Assassin's Creed was there, Diablo was there, all the Blizzard team was there, everything.
Assassin's Creed was there. Might be the last to see of them.
Yeah, but everybody was there. It was crazy. The booths was amazing. Like we're talking hours. Like they're actually building statues and stuff and bringing them in. Brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah, brilliant. I'll have to send you some pictures. It was, crazy.
Um, so then obviously, like I said, you met with Supercell as well about the obviously release of SB Prime, SB Megatron that were in the game recently. So how did that sort of come about? I mean, I know obviously Supercell own a share in Space Ape, but how did that sort of come
Yeah,
about?
so again, we talk about Meryl going over. This was part of the, the idea of trying to do something with them. And Meryl did everything. Like, I really can't say too much about it because I wasn't actually involved. My role of it was put it in the newsletter, basically. Um, but I think it more come about where Meryl was talking to Squad Busters and they were doing like a Transformers promo, and it kind of made sense for us to do it as well. And it was very difficult for us because we couldn't really talk about it until Supercell actually announced it. So this was another one where we didn't have the model, but we actually had the models of this one for a long time, but we couldn't actually
Yeah,
say
yeah,
this is what it is, this is what it does, because Supercell were very strict on how we. And to be fair, it's funny because we knew it was coming. Supercell knew it was coming, and their players was leaking it on Reddit. And I'm like, can we just say something now because everyone knows about it? It was just like
yeah,
we were locked. We were locked until Supercell actually made that post, which was the same. But it was great working with them. What Meryl tells me, because it was just very easy. It's very simple. Supercell wanted this, this, and this, and we delivered. It was just almost seamless. And a lot of people play Squad Busters, so having our game advertising their game was great.
Hmm. And then the last of the questions I've got for you is the Hasbro meeting that you have every year. So for those that don't know,
Yeah.
you sort of meet up with Hasbro, talk about releases coming this year, talk about your ideas, their ideas. So is that meeting been coming?
It's coming. It's normally this time of the year. I think it'll
Yeah,
be the next month or so, actually. We're due it. It's normally, yeah, it's normally now, isn't it? I
yeah, I
remember
thought
it
around that.
was,
It's always
yeah,
later in the
it's
year, like yeah,
Yanis is organizing it with them, but we'll do a whole year review when that happens. So that'll be either this month or next month, and I'm kind of excited for it because we've got quite a lot to share of what we've done this year. The UI was the biggest thing we've done this year. I know it doesn't really look much from a player point of view, but just like ripping out so much old code and stuff and making the game way more modern. Still a few things that we need to fix with it. I know I've seen some of the comments already. We're still not finished with it, I would say, because yeah, we still have a lot of optimizations to make, but the game runs way faster,
yeah,
way faster. And I mean, there was a bit of a debate, wasn't there, about the whole leaderboard thing where somebody scored 500 or 600k or whatever it was, and then 4 years ago people could only score 400k or something, and it's just like, well, this is what the new UI does. If you're on a fast device, you're almost coming at somebody on the new UI. I'm sure does way more combiner attacks than somebody on the old UI. I'll put it
yeah,
at maybe even like 6, 7 more battles if they're fast. Like, it's crazy
yeah,
how quick it is. It's crazy. It's fast. Brilliant.
yeah. I think the game's made some big moves this year in some positive directions, definitely. Um,
You
just
still need to
that
do.
time framing, that planning. That's the big
Yeah.
one for me. I honestly think that if you solve that, that'll solve 80% of your problems. I really do think. I think you'll free more time up for yourselves. I
Yeah.
think it'll make people happier. Content creators happier, can get content out faster. I think it's a winner on everyone's part. I think that's a big one for this year. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So a few more questions before we finish
Sure.
off because it's getting late. It's like half 12 at night. Been
Yeah.
like 3 hours. It's
I need
always
to.
this
I need
long.
to. I know. I need to go pack for tomorrow now.
And get a shower.
Yeah.
Just for reference,
Absolutely.
Dale turned around 15 minutes before stream started and said, I need a shower. I was like, are you joking? What? In 15 minutes? Went, yeah. He went, no, I didn't have a shower in the end.
Yeah. God.
Um, let's go back. I'm trying to find out where we sort of left off. So someone said HQ19, any plans? I mean, we touched on obviously the next phase of HQ18, I think will be next, I presume, next year with the Alpha Trial Core, probably.
I've got no idea on HQ19. I'll be honest.
Well,
I
the
would
next phase
say
of HQ.
next year.
Well, there's another phase of HQ18, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Because we're definitely going to get another attachment for the MDS.
I've been asking for one. Yes, it doesn't
I
mean
think
because
we
I'm
are.
asking.
The way
It
the
doesn't
UI
mean.
looks like it looks like
Well,
it.
the thing. Well, I mean, it was like that on the old UI
No,
anyway.
it wasn't.
It was.
No. The screen was
It
split into
was.
3. Now it's split into
That's
4
that's
and all 3 over
that,
there.
no, that's irrelevant.
No, I'm not having
That's irrelevant because even if it
that.
even if it was free and we added another one, you just scroll to the right like you do with a crystal.
No, I'm not having that. No.
No,
No.
no, I'm sorry, you're wrong. But to be fair, I've been asking for 2 attachments, to be honest, for a long time. Not because I just want a new attachment in the game, but I like War Effect being base of MDS
You did say that.
attachments.
Yeah,
And if we had more attachments, there would be more variety in what because right now it's just 3, and it's like, well, people always run the samey. If you had 5, you could mix it. Maybe there's a bit more
yeah.
mix and match there. So yeah, let's see.
Another use for Prime Core shards. So I think after that, you got G metals, I suppose, haven't you? So
I think they're just again. I would say to people always ask me what do I do with my Prime Core shards. I would maybe keep saving. I think there might be a time where we do release maybe some new ones. I've got no idea right
well,
now.
you got the
I
Alpha
think
Triumph Core, but that's it really.
yeah, I don't think we're going to see much until
But
next year on
like
Prime
I
Core
always say,
shards.
if you don't need it, save it. That's simple.
Yes, save it.
Um. Yeah, so a few comments about alloy, needing alloy once everything's. I mean, I do upgrade new cores here and there and try and change things around, and I swap my mines around. I just change 2 of my mines. Don't want to say too much, but just change 2 of my mines. I maxed out 2 new G metals, so I'm always using alloy for different cores. So I don't sit with them cores and go, right, I've got them cores on my base. Yes, prime cores, things like that, yes.
Hmm.
But I'm always like upgrading different cores, and sometimes rather than having motion sensing mine, I'm like, let's mix it up a bit. Let's go and change, like, have 5 glass gas instead. Because everyone expects motion sensing mines. Let's put 5 glass down and see what happens there. And I think for me, for base design, I just want someone to go, oh no, what the hell? Like,
Have you not?
that bit of panic and they do the wrong thing and drop the combiner or something,
I
you're like, yes.
I
So,
think no. The new mine that's coming out with the next phase is going to be interesting.
oh, we have got an exclusive on the stream. New
Yeah,
mine. Gonna be interesting. Oh.
yeah. I think
Hang
what it
on,
does is
is this the one where it sends them back to the launch pad? I weren't a
no. I
fan of
think
that.
no. I think this is just one mine that can just insta kill a bot.
You're such a troll.
I'm
You're such a
not,
troll.
There's no mine coming. I've got no idea what the next phase is.
You had me until insta kill. Honestly, shocking. I hate
Oh
you.
God.
Any new weapons, Lucas? Put it's a good point. We started on weapons and then
I
never
think
saw
the next one's a
nothing.
weapon. No, I think
Oh,
the next
okay.
one's a weapon. Yeah, I think the next one's a weapon.
Interesting. All the way you announced that now I've just spent 10,000 shards chasing Jazzy,
Oh,
but never mind. So yeah,
good
they are
weapon.
aware of the issue with the Vector Prime shards giving Orion packs. You said they're going to compensate players, you said?
I need to see. Well, yeah, obviously people who have got the wrong shards will change.
Yeah.
But I'm just seeing what the how many people it's happened to, because if it's the most of the community, we'll just say, hey, keep them. We'll just do an achievement that gives you what you're owed.
Well, it's
If it
everyone that got
gives
to
you.
certain points, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Basically, so
we can easily see that. We're gonna deep dive into that tomorrow of what people actually got. So yeah, let's see.
cool. Candyman's just put, where's the Lagoon XP bundles? A prime example, like they should be there this weekend. Like, I don't really
Yeah, I
use the
thought
Lagoon bundles, but
are they not in the web shop?
I don't know. But that's the thing as well. Like, who uses Lagoons nowadays? Like, this is what I mean. Like, Hyro put together a bundle of like Lagoons, G Metal XPs, and something, and then
Oh yeah, I've
Combiner
seen that.
stuff. And you're like, but you don't use Combiner stuff and Lagoons. Like, why
I
put
see
both
that.
of them in the same bundle? Either
The thing
no
is
one with
with
Lagoons anymore.
Golden Lagoon is it's a little bit outdated. I think we need to
Yeah.
do a like a Super Lagoon or something.
Even then, you won't
Super,
bother. No one will bother
yeah.
with it. Even with Super Lagoon, doesn't
Uh,
matter. It's not the power of it. It's the point where why would you use Cup and another bot and half the XP when you can
hmm.
drop a combiner and a bot and get the full XP? So there's no use
Yeah,
for it. So
maybe Super. Well, maybe Lagoon should give XP as well. like a bonus if you equip it, so you always. Nah, I don't know. Maybe it needs something else.
Maybe.
Yeah.
This is a good point. This quite infuriated me. I know you can't really talk on
Oh,
it, but
okay.
Trax has put, so if Hyro loves the game so much, why couldn't he even take the time to put his own thoughts in the newsletter? So what happened
Yeah.
was they asked
I saw.
everyone.
No, you don't. You don't need to.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
that was
I
quite
read
bad.
it.
That was bad.
Oh, Hyro. That's all I can say.
Yeah, we'll leave it there then. That was poor. Um, Bijou Veggie just put, can you help players learn 5-star transformers from endurance events with getting their G Metal cores? Spend, sadly, go and buy the bundle. That's basically it. I find that most bots, within $40, you normally get the G Metal there or thereabouts. It's not
I mean,
disastrous.
I mean, I mean, the drop rates are actually pretty good.
Yeah,
5%. The
I don't
G
think they're too
metal.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and if you
Well,
get super unlucky, you can use the power core converter, which ain't too
yeah.
bad as well. So you kind of got two chances. If you don't get it in $40, you get it through the converter.
Yeah, I had 20 Beachcomber crystals that I bought in advance when I got Beachcomber, and I opened them today and got 1 gold. I didn't get the G Metal, but in 20, but generally in 40 crystals, you'll generally get the G Metal. But again, sadly, some things have got to be behind a bit of a paywall, and people got to spend to get them, sadly. But are they even? What's the sort of turnaround for G Metals in the G Metal pool now, though? Is it still like 8 weeks roughly
Uh,
ish, or
it's about a month or something, I think.
is it? It's not too bad
2 months.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's
month
another
or
thing you
two.
could announce better as well, just to say like they are in the pool and they are
I
ready, and
agree.
just I think just a bit, yeah, a bit of
I agree.
what's the word? I can't think of the word now. It's getting too late. Um, yeah. Um, what else? Yeah, but like some people saying combine the gate bundles, bought them but didn't open them. Yeah, same for me. Yep, literally the same. But I'll keep them there just in case. I'm waiting for more
Hmm.
cores. I think that's another thing you need as well. More cores coming out. Everyone's storing crystals ready for new cores. So, if you create like with the 5-star shards, you create a
Well, the
demand
last
for
time,
using them. People will open
well,
them all. People have
well, the
got
last
thousands of crystals stored up because they've got no use for them.
yeah, I know, but the last time Hyro released new cores, he didn't enable them to be in old cores for a certain period of time. So, old crystals for a certain period of time. So that is actually a thing.
Ouch. Yeah, that wasn't good either.
Yeah. So
Um,
if you've got premium crystals or something, I wouldn't even redeem them just yet.
yeah, I've got 2,000. So, and that's not including
Yeah.
crystals, but I've got 3,000 crystals just sat there waiting. So, it needs to do something. Um, when we see a Magna boss combine a gate, valid question. True. He's not an OP combiner, is he? So we tend to hit all the old combiners, but we're not hitting the new ones really.
I,
So
I, I thought it was quite OP when we put the buffs on him in the event. That was quite nice.
I haven't even used him because he still doesn't hit ruination, sadly.
I mean, he was actually doing more damage than Ruination. Actually, when I
Really?
buffed him, well, I did like a 50% buff on him in the event, didn't I? For one weekend, it was. I actually called the string Magna Buff. Magna Buff.
I remember. Yeah, I
Remember
don't think he was
now?
doing more damage than ruination though.
I think he was. It was 50%.
Yeah, but he might have been doing the more
But
damage, but then his
he was doing
survivability was lower, and so he wasn't doing as much
well.
damage because he can't
Well,
do
no,
multiple
because no,
abilities.
because I also increased his. I give him leech, so every time he
See,
did
I would love
damage, he
to
was
test that.
healing.
I would love to test that in test, but I don't
Yeah.
think you even put it in test, did you? I don't think.
No, we just
That's
pushed
another
it.
bit
I
of
mean,
frustration of mine. Things that be not being in test, like there's even bots
yeah,
today that don't do in test, but they do live, and it's so hard to test and do videos on
yeah,
bots when they don't. But
yeah.
that's a question another day. Vic Ching, what's your football team?
Grimsby Town,
See how he says that
Grimsby,
with a bit
Grimsby Town, Grimsby Town.
of a. What else? Blade 19. Nobody wants any more bubble heads. That's what we're calling them. Bubble heads. The SP Pram and Negatron. So yeah. Um. Souls, but I've done and watched a whole US football game during the time you've done video stream. I know.
Wow.
Um, Varghese again has put depending on Transformers Universe, there's 13 primes. Will we see those missing Prime cores? Well, they said that the 13th Prime was Optimus Prime, so it's supposed to be 12. So there's one missing, which is Alpha Trion, which we will see. They said that Alpha Trion won't come. So the backstory behind that is that I had been influenced on that. I really kicked off about this. Is that they brought out the Alpha Trion core and
It's
said,
your fault.
yeah, it is. And they said it's going to extend the range of whatever defense. I was like, no. I was like, every single defense Prime core mirrors the attack Prime core. So this defense Alpha Trion core needs to do something around points. Needs to. And they were like, well, we can't do that. I was like, well, it has to. They're like,
What, on attack?
on defense.
Oh, on defense. Well, you can't really do anything on defense for ability points.
Well, it needs to. That was my standpoint. I was like, it needs to.
Well, what can it do?
Well, when you destroy it, it stops you getting points for 10 seconds. All defenses in that area, you can't get points from.
Tech doesn't support that.
Go and create a tech. No, but it needs to be something. I just think like.
I think what would be
but
good
you know
was
what frustrated it was that when you started these prime cores, surely you would have thought, right, okay, this is the idea for all the prime cores. What we're going to do for Alpha Trion? Oh, we haven't got a tech for that. Right, what are we going to do around points? That should have been a conversation a year ago, but it seemed like the conversation was like, oh, right, what we're going to do for Alpha Trion next week? Oh, we're going to do this.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it could keep deducting one ability point from the enemy until it's destroyed or something every 10 seconds.
Just something
I don't
around
know.
points. I'm not really fussed what it is, really, but it needs to be something around points, I always said, because that mirrors. They attack every single defense core, mirrors attack, so, yeah. Last question of the night.
Last question of the night. Oh,
Viju
Vaggies. Spicy.
Again, thanks for being a member. And he's put, how come you guys didn't use Megatronus instead of Nova? Which is a, fair point, because I think Nova Prime are a good Prime, but Megatronus did turn Prime to make more sense, but...
Unfortunately, this is a very poor... not saying it's a poor last question, because I can't give a good answer for it. This is simply just down to Hasbro licensing, I'm afraid, and that's what they give us, and the bots, they say that, they approve the 2 bots that we put in the game. So sorry, for a last question, I don't think I can give a good enough answer.
So just to clear up, though,
yeah.
But Hasbro knew you were going to use Noah Prime as a Decepticon?
Yeah.
That's strange.
So Hasbro always give us recommendations of what we should use, and then they approve it. So yeah, they approve this for sure.
Okay, cool. And
sorry,
no, it's all right. Well, that is it. That wraps everything up. So, we'll say thank you to everyone for joining the stream. It's been a really cool, long stream, but it'll be a lot of content coming from this. But don't forget, if you are a member, I'll be cutting this up into sections, and you'll be able to view this at your leisure. It's going to take me a while to cut this up. I might have to book a day of work to cut it up again.
How long is it?
3 hours.
Wow, 3 hours again.
Again, yeah. I've literally I've literally done it. I thought, right, I'm gonna make it a lot smaller. Not gonna have as many topics this time. But you just like to talk, I think. So yeah. But no, big thank you for Austin for Dale for taking his time out of his busy schedule to do his interview. Much appreciated. Yeah, thank you. Thank you to everyone joining. We will end it there. Don't forget, streaming next Thursday. Join me as always. I mean, I'm saying this to my members every week, regardless, but I'm sure there's people in the background watching. But yeah, join me next Thursday where I'll be streaming again. Hopefully, might have a bit of a sneak peek on the new combat, as Dale said. Should be in testing hopefully soon. And I will see you guys then. Thanks for watching and peace out.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.